Hey guys, Sean Terry here. What is up? We're super excited to have you here. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Cory Boatright.
What's up? What's up?
We have an urgent real estate market message for you this evening. So I know people are piling in right now. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a ton of information that we are going to cover tonight. But what more importantly, we want to talk about what the heck is going on with the real estate market. There is data that came out recently about new home sales. We're looking at current inventory. What's happening in the market is literally spiking, and we're going to actually show you data. So here's the thing, I always try to look at how can I get in front of the market? How can I get in front of the potential trend of what's happening? And right now, if you are a wholesaler and you're wholesaling houses, and you're wholesaling to cash buyers that fix and flip, or to cash buyers that buy for for rentals, right? That there is a huge potential about what I'm seeing right now that those people might exit the market, or they're going to be making offers for significantly less than they would normally be making. I'll give you the examples of it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the data, what's to come. We're going to talk about what happens in the future. And we're going to talk about a specific strategy that's going to position you during a recession, during a market correction, during a high interest rate, during a high inflation environment, where you can still thrive as a real estate wholesaler, and you don't have to worry about cash buyers exiting the market. Right. So it's we got a lot of stuff we're going to cover this evening. So Cory, excited?
I'm pumped, man. I'm excited to be able to share this message.
Yeah. Now, Cory has perfected a method to sell wholesale properties retail. So that is the premise of what we're going to talk about this evening, how to sell your wholesale property. So listen, here's the thing. This is critical. We're going to show data. We're going to show techniques. We're going to show an 8-step process that you must know to thrive in this recession, this changing, shifting real estate market that you must know. So, so turn off whatever you got to turn off. Focus on with me here a little bit, and focus on what we're going to talk about. Now, here's the thing. We're going to go super fast. We got a ton of information we're going to cover. We're going to go straight to the point. There's not going to be any fluff. We've got literally 8 bullet points that we want to talk about that are critically important to your future success when it comes to real estate wholesaling. And if you're a fix and flipper, man, I fixed and flipped properties from 2007, 2007 in a correcting market. I'm going to show you some data. And it's a scary thing because we had to lower prices on the MLS just to get activity. So also too, what's great about what we do is we make an impact into other people's lives in a positive way. We can create a brand new home and a new a house for a buyer. We can help a seller out of a situation, so we still get to do an incredible thing. And we also are very detailed. So we're going to show you specifics tonight. Specific check, where you can, step-by-step process where you'll be able to take the information tonight, apply it in your life and in your business, to be able to go out and get success. So here is the big question. The real estate market's shifting, right? There is more retail buyers than investors that fix and flip and investors that buy and hold. So here becomes the question.
Yeah. How to sell your wholesale properties retail.
How to sell your wholesale
Yeah.
properties retail. So let me ask you this. If you could sell the last 10 of your properties retail, how much more money would you make?
I mean, 4x, 5x.
I know for a fact we list properties on the MLS.
Yeah.
We get a significantly more people come in. But here's the problem. What if someone submits an offer and it's conventional?
Right. You got
as a wholesaler, what do you do? And we'll talk about why you have to pass on that, and how this overcomes that. And we'll talk about those ones because that's a big question that I had. And Cory, I just want you to know first off, Cory invented this. He's the one that initially put this program together. He's the one that brought it to me and said, "Listen, you have to see a new method." He brought it to me and said, "Listen, especially in 2020, the market." The market went up like crazy. Now we're seeing a correction in the market. This method works perfect during a correction. But the bottom line is how to sell your wholesale properties, retail. Now, the second question is this.
Yeah. How much have you lost?
How much money have you lost selling the properties wholesale?
Great
so
question.
There's two big ideas we're going to discuss tonight. One, this recession we're going into. I mean, if you saw home builder numbers that came out, they're plummeted interest rates going up astronomical. The Fed has more interest rate hikes coming. What the heck is that going to do with the market? So there's some bad data coming out when it comes to home prices. There are certain parts of the country right now where certain markets are dropping 20 and 30%.
Wow.
The first time in history, and I do deals nationally, he does deals nationally, first time in history where I saw actual pending sales lower than sold comps.
Right.
You usually see sold comps and then you see pending and active sales, right? Because now they're increasing the price. Sold comps were higher than pending sales.
Yeah.
First time in history. You go into Zillow, you see price drops in certain neighborhoods.
Right.
So there's the shift in the market. And the question is, how much have you lost selling wholesale? How much are you going to lose in the future when it comes to trying to get in front of this market? So we're going to give you a strategy that's number one, recession proof, because there's always retail buyers. Number two, we're going to show you how to make an extra $30,000 to $50,000 per deal. $30,000 to $50,000 per deal. So we want to answer, first off, these questions right here. Number one, what about breaking the chain of title?
Right.
So we have, typically what happens is you have a break in the chain of title between the seller and the buyer. So we're going to answer that question, that break in the chain of title. Seasoning issues. What about seasoning issues when it comes to FHA, VA, conventional?
How long they've owned the property.
Yeah, how long have they owned the property, right? These are the questions I have. Property qualification. How do you qualify the property? It's a specific thing, and you're going to explain that and how that works. How do we get paid? Now, this is a one document method that he put together on how you can get paid as a retail buyer. And now here's the thing within real estate. We talked about this earlier. today. We're talking about what and why this was so great, because everything in real estate is disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. If you go to real estate school, you talk to realtors. My wife's a realtor. It's disclosure, disclosure, disclosure. And what's great about this process is this seller opts in to the retail buyer program, and it's disclosure, disclosure, and they're completely fine with it. So you can sell the property retail. They're opting into the process, and there's a specific way you do it that he's going to talk about tonight.
And they make more money by doing this.
And they make more money by doing it. They get more money by doing this. So we're going to talk about how you get paid. We're going to talk about the paperwork needed. We're going to actually give you example transactions. We're actually going to give you example deals. And we're going to show you some people that actually have taken this course.
Crushing it.
He launched what's called the Retail Buyer Profits Program 6-7 months ago. He took on a very small core, like beta group of people to work with to kind of help him through.
Yeah.
The stories that have come out of that group are astronomical. You're going to hear them tonight. Deals that people passed on.
Yeah.
Passed on. Made $59,000, $37,000, $44,000 that are pass on deals because they wanted retail pricing. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about the 8 steps to virtual. But before I do so, let me just give you an idea about Cory. Who are you, Cory?
Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. I've known Sean for many, many years, over 10 years, in fact. One of the best guys that I know around, and just the amazing integrity. Love you, man. And I really appreciate you sharing this message. And I've been involved in real estate investing for almost 20 years now. I actually bought my first house when I was 21. I'm 45. I'm getting ready to be 46 soon.
Damn.
And I've been investing with real estate for almost 20 years. We run a business now that has over 100 deals that we do a year. And we also transitioned into national actually about a year or two after you did.
Yep.
And due to COVID and some other things like that. So we're doing national. And we also have a multifamily business. I have over 500 apartments. And you and I actually are partners on those.
Yep.
So we do the business every single day. So I don't like whenever I hear information from someone
Oh yeah.
that doesn't, they're almost like a ghostwriter where they kind of give you information, but they're not doing it.
Right.
So we're doing this business every single day. So what I'm sharing is out of frustration. It really is. Transparently, it's because I had deals that came in, and we all have these deals that come in where we get the deal under contract for 150, right?
Right.
And it might be worth, 250,
Right.
right? But and we get these offers that come in for maybe 165,
Right.
170, right? But those other offers that come in at 200,
Yep.
210, 215, 230, right?
Can't touch.
You can't touch. Why? Because you're
Conventional
wholesaling it,
FHA, VA.
and you put in your big, advertisement, cash buyer only.
Yeah, they still let the people come.
Yeah, and so now what you're doing is not only you're limiting your buyers, right?
Right.
But you're basically telling them, like, I have a property that's worth all this amount of money, and I can't take it
I can't take it because of a financing thing.
because of a financing contingency and red tape around it. So I built this program out of frustration from
Yeah.
that, and we're able to see now just amazing results. Also with our clients that are part of it, as
Yeah.
you mentioned too.
Are just
Yeah.
killing it.
Yeah.
So I've actually well, first off, I'm a
Look at that good-looking guy.
Yeah, right.
You look like 29 here.
Yeah, right.
You look young,
59.
dude. You look so
Anyway,
young.
so I'm a God-loving man.
Love it.
Born again Christian and
Awesome.
family man, 2 beautiful daughters, happily married 25 years, flipping houses for the past 18 years, transacted over $350 million in deals. I started a podcast. That's how I got into the education business, kind of like by mistake. I started a podcast, and everybody and their brother started reaching out to me. We got over 50 million listeners, 196 different countries, turned into courses, education. We have 10 best-selling courses, over 20,000 members. Best-selling author, 760 housing units. We're partners in one.
Yep.
Sold my beach house in Southern California because California got crazy and came out here. So anyways, we got some great information for you. So let's first look at a traditional wholesale deal. If you're a real estate wholesaler, if you're not unfamiliar with wholesaling, this is a traditional real estate deal, wholesale deal. You have this guy on the left right here, right? He's our seller. And we have you on the right which is our buyer, and we sign a contract. Now that contract's important because it gives us equitable interest in the property. Right. And we can sign a contract. So when I heard this concept almost 20 years ago, it completely blew my mind. I was like, holy cow, you can actually sign a contract with a seller and you have now equitable interest. It was incredibly important.
Right.
So what happened was you sign this contract with a seller, right? And then what happens is you find the cash buyer, and now you assign or sell your contract or double escrow, and you sell your contract for a fee. And the difference between those two, if you look at, right, we got one for 50 with the seller.
Yep.
We got 60 with a buyer.
Right.
We make $10,000.
Yeah, and you didn't even sell the house. You sold the contract.
We sold the contract.
Buyer
We sold the contract.
bought that.
The buyer bought the house.
Right.
The buyer had the money. The buyer closed on it. The buyer took the risk. The buyer fixed it up. And what did we do? We got a property under contract. We're marketers. Got the property under contract, sold that contract. We made $10,000. So here's the thing. I learned this concept. I'm like, holy cow. I made $11,008 on my first ever deal back in 2003. And that changed everything for me. It changed I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was $11,000 was a lot of money.
Yes.
Back then at the time, I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. And it changed. Like, you remember your first check?
I do remember my first check.
How much?
Absolutely. On my first wholesale deal?
Yeah.
$8,022.
$8,022. So I made $11,008. That literally changed everything because I'm like, holy cow, what if I could do this once a month?
Right. Yeah.
What if I could just do one deal a month? Oh my gosh, that's like over $130,000, $125,000 a year. And then I said, what if I could do two a month?
Right. And then you just escalate from there.
Now you're thinking like $22,000 a month. None of my friends made $22,000 a month, right? I get two a month. And then what if I could do three a month? Now, currently, I run an operation. So outside this room right here, if you go kind of that way and outside the room
That's a great operation.
Yeah, I've got my whole team. They're on phone. They're closing deals. We're doing, anywhere from minimum 15 to 30 deals a month right now, doing $1 million a month in revenue. And it's amazing right now running the operation. So I am in my real estate business every day. You're in your real estate business every day. You're dealing with, you're on a Voxer listening to a deal coming in. You have to sign some contract.
Yeah.
You sign two DocuSigns right before you get on here. Doing the actual business. So we do what we're talking about. We do these deals.
Yes.
He does these deals. I've done these deals and it's amazing. So here's the difference now. So we got retail buyer profits. What's the difference? Do we still get a contract with the seller?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So still get the contract for $50,000.
Yep.
But now we get an additional document.
Yes.
Which we're going to talk about. It's a special document. There's two special documents we're going to talk about. But we get this document, and now you can list the same property that you'd sell for 60 for what?
100.
So we find a cool agent, and then we file a notice of interest.
Right.
But we find the end buyer. So this guy on the right-hand side, him and his family are going to move in there.
Yep.
And you got 50,000 goes to the seller. 44,000 goes to you. The agent gets 6,000, and the guy buys the house for 100.
A lot of money left over.
A lot of money left over. So instead of $10,000 on the exact same deal, you walk with 44. The agent gets 6. The buyer gets the house for 100, and the seller gets exactly what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you prefer to get 10,000 or 44?
Easy.
Okay, so now let's do those numbers. $44,000, right? What if you did one deal a month?
It's huge.
So what's 44 times 12?
Like
I didn't even know that.
$500,000 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
44, let's just do 44 times 12 is 44 times 12. We're talking $528,000 a year.
Yeah.
If you do one 44,000 deal a month, 500. How many friends do you know that are working? How many hours do you think it would wait to do one deal a month?
I mean, one deal a month, probably 10.
10 hours a month?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're working 10 hours a month to make $44,000 a month.
Yeah.
You have no employees, you have no staff, you
Right.
have no huge marketing budget. You're making $528,000. How many people do you know working 10 hours a week making $528,000 a year? Now, what if you kept your lifestyle the same right? 100,000 a year, whatever, and you reinvested the rest in cash flow assets,
Oh man, it's such a big difference.
right? So it's
It's ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question: how much money are you leaving on the table selling wholesale versus retail?
It blew my mind. And then this is why that out of frustration that we created the program, because we're leaving so much money on the table and we didn't have a methodology in order to capture it.
Right. So here's the benefits of selling retail: significantly higher price, larger pool of buyers. Explain that.
Well, because your retail buyer is not a sensitive buyer. So no matter what, you're always going to have more retail buyers than you are investors. Investor pool is so small in terms of cash buyers, cash buyer investors, right?
Right.
Such
So
a
the
small,
pool,
small pool.
is significantly bigger.
Significantly bigger with retail
Now,
buyers.
what if you're in a small market, a super small market, but you can't find buyers,
Right.
right? Because the cash buyers, because there's really not investors in
Right.
the area. Does this work?
This works even better because of the rural areas. They are dependent heavily on the MLS, which is what this program primarily focuses on, getting you exposure on MLS.
Right.
Which is where retail buyers go
Right.
to look for houses.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And here's the interesting thing. This is something like a phenomenon that when we first launched about 6 or 7 months ago, and you took on that small clientele group, and we launched it. We weren't suspecting this,
Right.
and what we weren't suspecting is the people. Like, if you've been wholesaling right now, you have a database of people that want retail, right? They want retail pricing. Now, because they want retail, we can't, as wholesalers, make a offer to them. So think about how many leads you have in your database right now. What if you could go back to your database and go into your database and be able to talk to him about what he's talking about, this program that you're gonna learn here tonight? You can pull tens of thousands. Now look at this right here. You can offer higher pricing.
Well, look at this. I mean, let's just look at it, right? Let's say a house is $200,000, right?
Yep, 200 grand.
Okay, now you take 70%, which is what everybody teaches. Now you got 140. Now you minus repairs
Less
off
repairs.
that. Let's
So
say it's another
50,
20.
Yeah, 20. Make it easy.
All right, so now you're down to 120.
120.
If
You don't even have your profit. You don't even have your profit done in there
You
yet.
got your profit built in there, right? Now you're at 120, right?
Right.
Now
So
let's say
you're
you
at
want to.
$100,000 offer.
Yeah, now let's say you want to make 10,000 profit. Now you're down to 110.
110. Right.
Okay, if you don't get the house for 110, or maybe 120, if you're like maybe at the area you're trying to
Super
push
hot.
it, right,
You're
super
trying to
area.
push the numbers.
What are you gonna do? What do you do at the lead?
Pass?
Pass.
Why? And then you note in your thing they want retail.
Right. You're like, they want retail right now. What if that same $200,000 deal, right? You could offer them 140, 150, 160, and still make $20,000, $30,000.
Right.
Imagine how many leads you have in your system right now that are quote retail, the ones that you couldn't do anything with.
Right.
And let's just be real with this.
Yeah.
Out of the deals that come in, we run businesses, Sean. So out of the leads that come in, right? I already know that 30% of those leads that come in are going to be people that just kind of were kicking the tires. I just wanted to see what you made
See what
off
you can
of,
do,
right? Right. That's 30% of those leads that come in, right? So now you're down to 70%. Now you get another 20% off that. Now you're down to 50%. These leads that come in, majority of the leads are not not people that are motivated, want to sell their house.
Right.
Most of them saying, I want retail.
Or they want maybe if they want 150 or 160, you still out of the game.
Oh yeah. You're just like, it's too much, right? Because why? You don't have enough meat on the bone.
Right. Another great thing about this is it beats competition and pricing.
Absolutely.
Needs less leads to make the same money.
And
means
spend less money on marketing.
Less money on marketing,
Yep.
same leads, less competition, right?
Right.
100% transparent with the seller, disclosure, which is great. Selling process is much more streamlined, meaning you list it, you get an agent, they call in, they know what they're doing, you close it, you go through the process. It's a much more streamlined.
Everyone knows what's going on.
All right, so tell us about this deal right
Yeah, this one in Gadsden, Alabama. It's really cool. So essentially, we got this deal. Got it under contract for $93,000. We sold it for $127,000. Now, what's interesting about this deal is the tired landlords. We all get these kind of leads that come in, right? But we wouldn't be able to touch this lead, right? unless we got it significantly under
Right.
$93,000.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's a smoking deal.
It is a smoking deal. And so we sold this to a retail buyer.
Right, retail.
Yeah. And so in Alabama, have you ever heard of Gadsden, Alabama? I haven't either. But it's
I've never heard of it.
yeah, I haven't either. I mean, it's like a little pocket.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a lot of retail buyers that like this little area.
So explain the spreadsheet right
Yeah. So this is our calculator that everyone gets, by the way. And there's a really specific formulas that are tied to this. Essentially, the wholesale purchase price, which is what the WPP is $93,000. The worth, what we call, or what a lot of people call their ARB, the after repair value, is $135. Now, just right there, the worth is $135, right? And we put the purchase contract under contract for $93,000. How many people, Sean, would you do that deal?
At 31%? No.
No, not at 31%, right? So we actually, when we look at what the retail gap profit potential was, that was $42,000. So we knew that there's $42,000
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So how do you capture it?
Yeah, how do you capture the 42 grand? So still, even at 93, they're flexible, but not flexible enough.
Not
for
flexible
wholesale.
enough. Right.
Yep.
Right. So what we're able to do when we looked at this and we said, okay, what could we sell the property for? And we realized that we could sell the property for about 94% to a retail buyer.
Right.
Right? Which is about $127,000. If we sold the property for $127,000, literally that means anything under that would essentially be potential profit. Now I say the word potential profit because you see in the middle column here,
Right.
these are also the things that we had to pay for.
Repair
Or-
credits.
Or credit.
Yeah, because you got
Because
you got appraisal fee, you
we
got
have
loan
appraisal fee,
you
loan fees. So whenever you do
got
these
agent
deals,
fees.
the homeowner doesn't have the money to pay for these things.
Right.
Right? So where's the money going to come from?
Yeah.
It's going to come from you doing the program because you're going to essentially commit to being able to facilitate this deal being
So
done.
here's the interesting thing. If you look over on the right here, if you kind of look right at this, and like right in here, like the right here, this right here, you'll see that as a wholesale deal, just at 70%,
You would
not less your fee or return, you would lose 15,000. So this lead that came in, you contracted for 93. As a wholesaler, you would lose 1,500.
Yeah, you would lose 1,500.
But now this deal turned into an $18,000 deal because of
retail buyer profits.
retail buyer profits.
So imagine that. Imagine you're looking at a deal and you're thinking about passing on because you can't get it for basically under the price of 91.5 or even below that
Yeah.
because there's no profit there. You really need to get it for probably around maybe 80 or so,
80,
right?
yeah, to make any money.
Make any money, right? So you're passing on it. There's no money there, right? But we walked away with $18,000 on this deal.
Yeah, which is smoking.
Smoking in
All right,
Gadsden, Alabama.
So tell me about this one.
Now this one's in Wynnewood, Oklahoma. Which how many people have seen the tiger the
Tiger Lily or
tiger? What? No, not tiger. It's
I think
it's the Tiger Zoo, the zoo guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of the
Tiger Crazy.
Tiger Crazy guy, the guy on Netflix, right? But this is where their little zoo was, and
Right.
so Wynnewood is actually a pretty interesting little one because with Wynnewood we have a seller that was moving quickly, they wanted to move,
Yep.
and then we had a contract price. Now this is a smaller one, by the way, so this doesn't mean you have to do all the $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 houses. You'll have these little rural areas where you can buy the property for a smaller amount. So this one, the sold price was $63,100. The contract price was $35,000. We sold it to a retail buyer and we made almost $20,000. Here's how it worked. We got this property. Now, again, look at the retail buyer sales price. Are you noticing a trend? We sold it for 90%.
90% of value.
90% of value, Sean. How many times do you sell your wholesale deals for 90%?
Never.
Never, right? If we would have got this property and just did a wholesale on it, we could have made $9,000, which is not bad.
Not bad,
right?
no.
But we doubled it. Doubled it with one document,
I made
Sean.
10 grand.
And made $10,000 more. So on $19,885, we did have to commit to some fees or concessions, but guess what? The money was there
Yeah.
because we had it. We're sold to a retail buyer.
Right. Smoking deal.
Smoke a deal.
Yeah, I mean, $10,000 deal. I mean, you wouldn't consider it smoking, right? But it's pretty amazing. All right, so let's get into the 8-step process,
Do it,
right?
yeah.
So we talked about some examples. We talked about what could happen. Now, what are the 8 steps so you can take this and implement it. Let's get into it. What is step one?
Yeah.
Qualify the property and the seller. Give us an idea what
Yeah,
that
it's really important that you qualify the property and the seller. So we break it down into 3 categories: a pretty house, a yucky house, or a scary house. Okay. And when you're working with RBP, retail buyer profits, you want to make sure that it's a part of a pretty house. The house is either a pretty house or it's a step above a yucky house. In other words, it needs to be a pretty livable house. You don't want to put a ton of repairs and all these other things into making this property like livable, right?
So you want to qualify the property.
Qualify the property, and then you qualify the seller.
Then you qualify the seller.
Seller needs to be willing to basically take a little bit extra time to close on the property. Now, why would they do that? Because you're willing to pay them $3,000 or $5,000 more
$3,000 to $5,000 more
than what they're.
So they're gonna you're gonna pay them $3,000 to $5,000 more, and they're gonna opt in
They're
to the
opting into the
retail
program.
buyer profits.
Full
program.
disclosure,
Full
they
disclosure.
understand what's going on. They understand you're working with a lender. You don't control the process. You don't control the process with the banker. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to basically
And
close.
then you actually created the RBP calculator, right?
Yes, that's a powerful calculator. So it allows you to see really what your profit potential is, your prospectus.
Right, and it gives you an idea of what you could sell at wholesale, what you could do retail, and it makes a big
Makes it
difference
super
on
easy. Yeah.
exactly what you could do. Now that we've qualified the seller and the seller has more time, they've opted in. We said, okay, we're going to give you $3,000 to $5,000 more. Now, after we talk to them, what's the next step?
Well, the next step basically is signing a contract. I mean, you have to get a contract signed with the seller. And the way we do it, we've actually seen 2 different methodologies. The first methodology is we make an agreement right off the bat to buy the property at the wholesale price.
Right.
And we position and tell them that if it's a pretty or step above yucky house, right, it qualifies for that
Right.
house, that their house may qualify for the retail buyer program.
So now when we're talking to the seller and we go back and we're talking to them and now their house has qualified,
Yeah.
we're going to sign the purchase contract package.
Right.
Explain what that package is, because there's a lot. These are attorney.
There's a CYA document in there.
These are attorney review contracts. You've had these looked at. These contracts are specifically designed for what we do here. And you explain them all, obviously in detail.
Yeah.
But you got the attorney package and the attorney in fact. So in the attorney package, my fault, the purchase contract package, what's in that?
Yeah, the purchase contract package has the full purchase sale agreement. It also has the CYA and also has the attorney in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And the attorney in fact is a really important document. And it basically allows us to be able to negotiate for that homeowner for all things MLS.
All things MLS.
All things MLS.
Okay.
All things MLS marketing. Yeah.
Right. So it gives you the ability to list, gives you the ability to sign,
Sign
contracts,
whatever we need to do.
but you're not signing closing documents,
We're
right?
not signing closing documents. However, I'll tell you that some people have signed closing documents with our package, but it's not what I recommend. You don't need to sign closing documents even though you have attorney in fact.
Right.
Yeah.
The goal is to be able to use the attorney fact to list the property. And again, this is full disclosure. He created scripts that are ridiculous. Your scripts are amazing, where they literally you follow the script and the seller's like, okay, I'll sign up. I'll sign up for that. It just makes sense.
Right.
So now what happens is when we talk about explaining the retail buyer program, we talk about the script we just talked about.
Sure.
What does that look like?
Well, I mean, you position. So everything in life, really, in this program specifically, is about positioning.
Right.
And so we position with the homeowner. Again, we have 2 methodologies that we've kind of, iterated since we started the program. The first one is we go right after the wholesale offer, and then we give them a little bit more money if it comes back and qualifies for the retail buyer program. We position this up front. The second methodology is we go right in if we know that they're not accepting the wholesale offer.
Yep.
At the time of acquisition, basically. Yep. We go right in and tell them however, we have a retail buyer program. Your house may qualify for that. And so we go ahead and just go right in for it. One, we use the contract for a backup. The other one, we just go right in for the retail buyer program.
Right. So the interesting thing is understanding the positioning and what that looks like and how to pivot in the process is really important. So it was funny. I was on the phone this past Friday, and I was doing a Zoom with all of our members and stuff like that, part of the group. And I was on the phone and I was calling leads, and I got this lady who we were, she wanted retail. I was able to negotiate with her, give her retail, give her a little bit more than what we could do. My offer was typically 100. I was able to give her 135. We put her in the retail buyer profit program, and we're turning around listing it now for $190,000.
There you go. Bam.
Yeah. So I mean,
Now.
so great deal. Talk
Yeah.
to her, and I happen to be on a Zoom call like we do. I do Zoom calls every other week and stuff with some of our members in our masterminds and stuff like that in group. And I was actually got on a call. And I was calling sellers. So people were like, well, I want to hear you do it. So I'm like, all right, fine. I just started calling sellers, and I happened to get 2 deals in a matter of a couple hours. Just talking to people to be really fun. But so okay, so but part of it though is I did the script.
Yeah,
I did the script. I know the script. I positioned the script correctly, and they're like,
they got it.
And she opted in for the process.
Yeah.
So there's 100% clarity.
And it's not just verbal; it's a document that they they actually opt in.
Yeah. We got we get pictures, recap, stuff like that. It's all good.
Yeah.
So the next step is we got to open escrow.
Absolutely. So this part is the part that gets everyone hung up, because we're actually working with a national title company right now.
Now this is brand new, just out of the gate.
We've been talking with the owner of the title company. We've been positioning for a actual retail buyer profit, process in the title company.
Yep.
So we can bring everybody into that.
So 6 or 7 months ago, when we kind of opened this up, this didn't exist.
Right.
This is where you had to go to a local market, find a local title company, and then kind of, and we had certain ways to explain what we did and stuff like that to them, so they got on board. Now you don't have to do that anymore. Now there's a national title company that will do it and do these transactions, and you don't have to go through the explanation process.
Now, if you don't have this title company, which many people don't, right, they will use their existing title company, and we have got scripts specifically how to introduce the program, what to say, what exactly it is, what it isn't, right? Any questions that they have. So the title agent, the closing agent, is perfectly on board on exactly what they were doing.
Right. Yeah. So you have, so if you have a local one, we have email swipe copy to the title agent. You send a purchase contract.
It's in the program.
Yeah, and it's like how to position exactly how to talk to these agents. Now, the cool thing is now this relationship that you built over the last 6 to 7 months, and now they're like, bring them all. Bring all your retail buyer profit.
Well, think about this. Are you more valuable to a title company if you close 10 deals or 50 deals?
Exactly.
Right. And so they want these deals. And the reason that you're not closing more deals is because you're not able to offer more money for the deals.
Right. Okay. So the next thing is we're taking a wholesale property. Yeah. And we're listing it on the MLS.
That's right.
We're listing it, but we're listing it, and the offers, we're not looking for cash offers, hard money offers. We're looking for
retail buyers.
Retail that use conventional financing, FHA financing, VA financing, USD financing, whatever it might be. In a normal wholesale world, you cannot do a deal with a conventional FHA, VA, USDA, whatever type of loan, because of the main reason. And what's that main reason why you can't do it?
Loan seasoning, or basically seasoning title.
Yeah. So there's seasoning. Yeah. And what's seasoning? Explain seasoning.
So basically seasoning how long that you've owned the property. So there's a chain. Imagine a chain, right? And if you break the chain of title, would be the owner, selling it to somebody else. If they sold somebody else, that would break the chain.
Right, break the chain.
So if you broke the chain, then you're in trouble.
Right. So you're under contract with a seller.
Yep.
Right. And now you sell to a conventional buyer. The conventional underwriter is going to underwrite the loan, and they're going to say, hey, why aren't you buying it directly from the owner of record?
That's right.
And they go, no, I'm in between here.
Right.
I have a contract. I want to do it. That's breaking the chain of title. They will not let that loan go through. They will not fund that loan. It has to go direct from the buyer directly to the seller.
Right.
That's seasoned, that's been on title for a year, 2 years, whatever the number is. But that because they're on title, it's not breaking the chain. Where does that leave you?
Yeah, exactly.
You make no money until now.
Right.
Until now, you're able to make money, and you can list it, and you can take all those offers,
and you don't break the chain of title,
and you don't take that.
Now you can assign and not break the chain of title, but here's the deal: these kind of profits that are coming through, you're not wanting to sign those. You don't want necessarily that seller to see how big of a spread, right? So you're doing a double close. right? If you're going to do that, and then you would break the chain of title. Anytime you double close, you break the chain of title.
We can't sell to because they can't underwrite it. It has to be hard money or cash no matter what.
Right.
Okay, so part of this when we're listing with the local realtor, we got to find the realtor.
Yep.
Right, which that's stupid easy to be able to do.
Got a whole process in your whole video.
Whole process. Agent criteria, we want to make sure we have the right agent. Agreement with the homeowner, so we want to obviously explain the situation when it comes to
that's the
positioning, showing, getting people in the property.
Yep.
Because remember, it's all full disclosure. Access to the seller via lockbox or access. So he basically explained all that. It's really interesting. But when it comes to listing the properties with the realtor, what you got to know is, and now let me ask you this. All right, if you're a wholesaler, have you ever listed your property? That's the first question. Have you ever listed your property? If the answer is no, you're missing out.
Right.
Now, if you ever list your property and you list it where you have cash buyers calling you that are investors and stuff like that, that's huge. It's better than Investor Lift. It's better than any of these other softwares or programs.
Yeah, the MLS is the holy grail. That's where all the retail buyers hang out.
All the buyers are. That's the holy grail. So here's the thing. If you've never listed, right, that's one thing. Now, let's say you have listed, but you can't accept conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans, stuff like that's another whole level of actually being able to get deals done on your wholesale transactions that are amazing. Now, there's all this regulation coming out about assignment contracts in wholesalers
and how you have to be licensed to do this and that.
Yeah, all licensed. Now you got Nebraska, you got Oklahoma that's come out. Even Arizona's come out and they said you have to have some language in your contract about disclosing to buyers and that you're going to wholesale, which we do anyways. So the bottom line is now this regulation comes out. How does this impact regulation?
It's awesome. I mean, at the end of the day, you basically, because of the way it's structured, right?
Yeah.
There's no break in chain of title.
There's no break in chain of title, and there's full disclosure with the seller, and you're not getting an assignment. You're not doing a double escrow.
Right.
You're not doing this, you're not marketing the property when they don't want you to market the property, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It literally solves every regulatory issue when it comes out there, which is ridiculous, which is unheard of. So not only are you getting in front of it that way, getting in front of the market with the potential recession, and we've got interest rates rising, inflation, and all that, you're getting in front of that where cash buyers are now exiting the market, retail buyers are staying in the market, inventory rising. I'm going to show you something that's amazing. So you get in front of that, but also you get in front of regulation too. So you're still you don't have to get out regulated and do stuff, which is amazing. So here's the thing: what happens is you list it, and now it comes in. You get offers coming in. Are there different type of offers?
Oh, of course. I mean, imagine this. I mean, whenever you get these offers coming in, let's say you get 5 offers, right? How many of those are I need a loan, right? FHA, VA, FD, whatever loan, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of have to push those aside, right? Because if they aren't cash,
can't touch them.
You can't touch them usually, right?
Now and those are 20, 30, 40% more.
Oh my gosh. It's close to retail.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so accepting the highest and best offer, there's a specific methodology to that. You kind of explain what that looks like, and also to what you're looking for when it comes to concessions.
Well, this is really important that you bring this up because you have to make sure whenever you're working with a broker, a loan officer, whoever, that's not just someone that says, we want to buy the house, but they haven't been vetted. It's important, and I talk about this in the course. You need to vet that loan officer and that broker. You need to make sure that that buyer that's coming in, that they're ready to go.
Fully underwritten.
Oh, they're fully
underwritten. They haven't pulled the credit out.
They had just pulled the credit out.
They're fully underwritten.
Right. They're ready to go, right? That way you're not wasting time.
You're not wasting time in doing something like that. So I think that's important. So when it comes to that, and you gotta look at what is the best offer.
Yep.
Obviously, is it cash, conventional, FHA, or VA? There's contingencies, what type of repairs, EMD concessions.
Now think about that. The contingencies often kill a deal.
Right.
In this case, it actually potentially will help it. Now, why?
Yeah.
Why would you doing repairs to a house as a wholesaler help the deal? Why do you think that would help the deal?
Well, first off, because the seller
can't do it.
They can't do it or don't want to do it, don't have the funds to do it.
That's right. And what else? What's the second thing?
Repairs?
Yeah. Because now what happens is whenever you are coming in and doing the repairs,
Yeah.
right? Now what happens is that buyer,
Yeah.
they don't have to take it out of their piece of it. So normally they're having to use
it's the
some of their money, right?
Yeah.
Now you're able
they
to
can
come
offer
in,
higher.
you can offer higher money.
Right.
So oftentimes there is times when we get an offer price that, you know, let's say we're only asking 185 for it. But
Yep.
guess what? We got an offer of 190.
Right.
We got an offer of 190 because they want the house
They
so much.
They want the repair.
And we're willing to do the repairs.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Okay, so talk about this right here, running numbers before accepting an offer.
Super important. That's
And-
why you
and
have to
that-
use that calculator.
Is that what the spreadsheet is?
That's why you
Yeah.
have to use the
So
calculator.
could you mess up?
Oh, you know, it's possible, but with the calculator, it's very, very unlikely.
So if you don't have the calculator, you're just trying to figure this out on your own.
It's
and
difficult.
You plug the numbers in and you figure this out and you mess up because you forget a line item.
And it could be a big line item.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be a big line item, and then you could find out at the end of the tail, you're like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough money here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you built it. You took in all an account and everything.
Every line item that you can think of. Yeah.
Which is killer. All right. So now this one right here, step 7, right?
Yes.
We've got the recording of the secret document.
Right.
Recording of the secret document.
It sounds a little funny, but at the end of the day, it really is amazing how you can
Okay. So
use
here's
a
the thing.
specific document.
Right. So you have a contract with a seller.
Yep.
For 200 grand.
Yep.
And now you list it and you get it sold for 270 grand.
Okay.
Right. And you get a buyer. So now you have to connect the seller with the buyer, but you're kind of out of the situation slightly. How do you get paid?
Well, you're still in the situation.
Yeah.
What it is, you
You
actually
haven't novated. You haven't done a
you haven't
novation.
novation or anything like that. You're still in the you're still the whole. What you do is you file a notice of interest. It's actually called a
A
memorandum
memorandum.
of notice of interest, and
All right.
on that document are some very, very specific things
Mhm.
that must be on there included in order to get validated and paid.
Okay. So you record this one document, and it's just a one-page document.
One page
You
document.
record the document, and that document allows you to get paid how?
Essentially, you're going to get paid as like a lien holder,
Mhm.
right? So you'll get paid on the
On
difference
title.
on title. So title will come
It'll
to
be
you
a line item.
a line item, and it's essentially called a cloud. So the title company cannot issue free and clear title to a new buyer
Right.
unless all the pre-existing things are taken care of on the B schedule,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they can't do that. So what they have to make sure all those things are taken care of. Well, guess what? You show up on Schedule B.
Right.
You show up on things on the title.
It has to be cleared.
It has to be clear.
And then you're going to issue a payoff.
And then they're going to ask you what that is, and then you're going to have to you have to tell them, okay, here's what this is, and then they're going to say how much to release it,
Right.
and that is how you get paid.
And that's your number between your contract price and the
In your example,
actual-
so
right.
the 270 in your example, right? We
Right.
had it under contract for 200,
Right.
right? And we don't know if that 200 included, are you paying for that or not? Let's just say it did. Let's say they really wanted 195 and you offered them to pay 200. So now
Right.
they're at 200, right? There's a $70,000 profit potential
Right,
gap, right? Out of that $70,000
You got
is
real
where
estate
you have to take
commissions.
all of your
closing costs.
different line items.
You know, you had to fix the front door knob.
Front
you know,
door knob, commission, inspections, appraisal,
all that.
all that stuff. That
So
will come
then it
out.
nets down to like 250,
Yeah, maybe 250.
right? And then that becomes your payoff on what you're going to pay
And
off.
you send them you send them 51,000 whatever,
Right.
and they'll put that as your payoff.
So how do you get this document recorded?
Well, there is some really cool ways. One is this company called Simplifile. So Simplifile is really good. It's an
Uh-huh.
electronic, it's a digital service, a SaaS company service, software as a service that basically allows you to go in
And record,
and record
documents
documents
nationally.
on the county in real time.
And then there's Deeds.com. They'll
And
do that, yep.
Deeds.com does a
So
similar.
there's a couple
similar
sites
service.
that you can actually scan, record, send from the comfort of your home.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to use it, you can do it with the title company. A lot of times the title company will just tell you to do it on your own. So
Right.
those services are great.
All right, so number 8,
Oh yeah, baby.
closing the deal and getting paid. What did that look
Absolutely.
like? Closing the deal, you got inspection, appraisal, repairs. So we back up. So
All the line items.
yeah,
Basically, you have your profit potential,
right.
right? Which is in that case, $70,000 from 270, 200, right?
Right,
You have a
right.
$70,000 profit potential.
Right.
Then you take from the 70 all the line items
Right.
that has to be paid that you agreed to. And
So
by the way,
inspection, the appraisal, the repair.
yeah, and by the way, the buyer is going to be able to pay for something. Like you can't give them their down payment.
Right.
You can't. There's some things you cannot do.
Right.
But you can do a certain percentage of concession
Okay.
depending which loan type it is. You can do repairs.
What
you
if,
can do-
what if that, well, okay, so you're telling me I get under contract, I'm a wholesaler.
Yeah.
I get a contract with a seller, house needs a little bit of work, whatever. I find a retail buyer, but then now they have an inspection.
Right.
And now they want, $6,000 worth of stuff repaired. You're telling me I have to come out of pocket on a deal and pay a contractor to fix $6,000?
No, absolutely not. Oftentimes, you can just use it as a credit or a line item credit on the HUD.
Right.
So basically, whatever
So
that
you don't
dollar
have to
amount
pull
is-
that out of pocket.
You
You
don't
don't
have to
have
pull
to
that out
cut a
of
check
pocket.
for $6,000.
And if you do, if you're working with a government-backed loan that says you have to have those things fixed before they do that before they do come out and do appraisal again,
Yep.
and basically say, okay, now we can fund it.
Yep.
You can then often have the contractor do the work,
Right.
and the contractor agrees to get paid at closing.
Got it. Yeah, that's great. So literally,
It's awesome.
no money out of pocket.
No,
So you have to-
oftentimes.
so you solve the problem, you get it fixed, you get it closed, you get it renovated, whatever. But a contractor just get paid at closing.
Right.
So
And let's say sometimes you do have money out of pocket. If you do, you can still negotiate often half. I'll pay
Right.
you half right now, and I'll pay you half at closing.
Okay, so how do I okay, I love the method. This is exciting. I love the idea of the retail buyer profit program. I have people in my database I can talk to right now and be able
Yes.
to do that.
Yeah.
How do I find these deals?
I mean, essentially, all these deals are actually already in your database.
Right.
You don't have to really spend. The funny thing is, you go into your CRM right now. I promise you're going to find, potentially hundreds of leads that are in your CRM that you just passed on.
What
that
if
were
you have a
your
guy
profit.
that has no CRM, right?
All right.
And he's brand new. He's like,
Sure.
Well, look at we've got right here.
Right.
We've got Google AdWords.
Google AdWords
We
is amazing.
use Google AdWords. So Google AdWords is people type in words in Google. We
Well,
buy
this is your program teaches people.
Yeah, I teach people how to do
It's
that.
amazing.
So we buy houses, and what happens is you can get leads 24/7. Some will be wholesale.
Right.
A lot will want retail,
Yes.
but they could potentially qualify for this program. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. So they could potentially, be able to do that. But AdWords is amazing. You can get a ton of leads coming in. Now, does direct mail work?
Absolutely. Trip Networks.
Yeah, direct mail works. It's amazing.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just it's amazing that people have that. So we had a lot of questions. We had a lot of questions from people that said, "What about novations? How does RBP versus novations? What does that look like?
Right.
How is this different? Is it just another idea of novations? What's a novation?"
Right. So, and by the way, novations are great. They're actually designed for commercial use. And the term novate means to replace or remove. And so it's important that you realize that. And only until recently have folks really been using some investors have been using this strategy, and this strategy has been taught
Right.
for residential purposes.
Right.
But simply, I think we have a
Yeah, I
slide on
think
it
here.
too.
So here, if you go
Just go
through and
through
you
it.
go, so novation is a valid purchase contract.
Right.
The cancellation of the original
So
contract signed
replace
by
or
all parties.
remove, right?
But you have to cancel the original contract signed.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of scary.
So what does that mean? If you're a wholesaler and you have a property under contract
Right.
with a seller, what the novation is saying is you have to cancel that contract and you novate or remove your contract from that novation. So now novation agreement is signed by buyer and seller. So that is signed by the buyer right over here and
Right.
seller.
Yeah.
And where are you at?
Party to contract.
Yeah, you're on an island.
Or you're removed or replaced.
Yeah, removed or replaced.
Right.
Now consider a wholesaler is now not party to the contract when it comes to novation. Wholesaler is not party to the contract now. Negotiate your fee with the buyer and seller to get paid. So what does that look like?
I mean,
Can
essentially.
you pay me $10,000 so I'll remove my?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's one of those things where, if
Well-
you're not party to a contract, do you even have the ability to negotiate?
Well, anytime you have to do that, I
So
say,
that's-
listen,
that's
I'll
first
nobody my agreement, but you're going to pay me a fee. So now the question is, you have to justify as a real estate wholesaler your fee. But now you may have marketing, you have a staff of people, you have an overhead,
Sure.
you have an office, whatever it might be. But you have to still negotiate what a $50,000 fee. What do you need $50,000 for, right? $50,000 fee. So now you're negotiating a fee. I don't want to negotiate a fee.
Right.
I want to just close the deal. I'll solve the problems. Just pay me what you're going to pay me.
Right.
How is your fee negotiated? That becomes difficult.
Yep.
Will the lender approve your fee?
I mean, I'm telling you, I don't do novations, so I know the people that do them, and I just know that I didn't want to go down that route because there was so many things that I didn't necessarily know if I was going to be able to teach my team.
Yeah.
And so RVP was born basically from a simplicity standpoint.
Simplicity standpoint. So
Yes.
I've known about novations for years.
Yeah,
For years.
we know
For-
people
we-
that do them.
Yeah, we've been in a mastermind
Yeah,
for years.
sure.
We know someone that's done it for years. It just for me, it's the same thing. It was just so complex. I don't know if I could teach it to my team. So here's the difference right here. We got you sign an AB contract with a seller.
Yep.
Right. Seller opts into the RBP program.
Full disclosure,
Full
they know
disclosure.
exactly what's going on.
You file the notice of interest to protect your interest. There's
Right.
no number on it. Until
Yeah,
the
so
end.
you're still party there. Yep.
Then your notice of interest is released and you're paid on the HUD. And it's done,
It's pretty simple.
right? It's done. Here's another case study. Here's your Alabama property.
Gadsden.
Gadsden, Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about these two deals.
Winniewood. Yep.
Now, check out these success stories. Now, these are interesting because, like I said, here's, for everybody knows, about 6 to 7 months ago, we released the initial course to a
More
very
like a beta,
small,
right? It's
like a beta course to
Yeah.
a very small group
Yeah.
of people that we could work through and help them and stuff. And basically, we just said, hey, whatever you buy, whatever you get the course for, which you're going to have the same thing to offer. Yeah, I'm going to actually show you how to get this entire course. He has RVP Profits for free. But it was the same offer and said, hey, listen, you guys do this for free. We'll show you how to do it. So here is actually some cool stories of some people, what they have done
In the program.
in the program.
Exciting.
And they're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's a game changer. And now with what we have, and I'm going to show you after this right here, what is happening in the real estate market right now, which is going to be shocking because if we don't know stuff like this, we could be eliminated.
You have to stay on the edge.
Eliminated. Have to stay on the edge. So here's some success stories right here. I want you to check it out right now.
What is going on? This is Cory Boatright. I am with Retail Buyer Profits. I have Jonathan Newsom on here. What's up, John?
And it's like coincidence. I got a lead that kind of fell in my lap that was just the perfect pitch for this program. And
148.
so essentially we had walked away. We made a profit of $55,515.80.
That's fantastic. That's exciting. When you what do you think you might have made on just a wholesale deal straight to a cash buyer?
Oh, I got to be honest with you, Cory. I wouldn't have made anything because looking at a wholesale deal, I would have had to have been at 120 to 125. And I was like, this
Gotcha.
isn't going to work as a wholesale.
So you probably would have walked from that deal or
Yeah. Absolutely.
likely if you would have made anything on it. And instead you ended up making $55,000.
All right, Sean Terry here. What is up? We are back with another Retail Buyer Profits testimonial, and I'm excited to have everybody here. We've got Jacob from Atlanta who's going to be sharing his story. And what you did is you took all those fees out and you had a number, and then you had 3025 was your acquisition number, and that spread. What did that release number? How much was that release number?
That was 59 and some change, 59,000 and some change.
Boom.
That was six. It was right. It was like 59,455.
Oh no, why?
In Wyoming.
Right.
Yes,
in Wyoming. So,
of all
so
places.
here's the deal.
30,000 population, not even like a huge city. Yeah. Rock Springs.
30,000 population. And
Yeah.
so you take 59,000 divided by 302, you know, so that's about a 20, almost a 20 points, on a $302,000 purchase, which typically in the wholesale world, if you're getting 5 to 10 points on a deal, you're doing really well. So 20 points is exceptional. You got the HUD, the commissions were paid, the closing costs were paid, you got $2,000 refund. You had all the fees were taken out and title costs and signing costs and all that type of stuff. What was the net after all that stuff was handled?
About 37.5.
Oh,
37,000.
that's amazing.
Me and Michael,
Nice.
50-50 down the middle.
So you have a throwaway deal. You could not wholesale on a deal that literally was in the mid to low 200s. You know, seller's bottom line is 185. Any wholesaler on the planet would have passed on that deal, including me. Well, not now, but me. But then now you've turned a throwaway lead into $37,000. You know, even if you do that, you know, 5 times a year, you know, from all the wholesale leads, that's a significant amount of additional revenue bump in your business. Which is pretty cool. Perfect. So no money out of pocket, right? So the roof was paid out of the HUD. The pool was done through a credit process. So literally, you didn't have to get a contractor. You didn't have to go through that whole thing. You didn't have to pay for anything. It was just handled. That was awesome.
Handled. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, and I know Cory touched on that in the program. Reach out to the buyers' agents, because a lot of times they have these contractors that they work with. So it was a perfect fit.
Awesome.
So between 310 and 230, that left over roughly what for you guys?
We were just over 48,000.
Wow, 48,000 on a deal that you pass on. Is that nuts?
Mm-hmm.
That is nuts.
And we had about passed on it. We had, it was sitting in our CRM because we didn't know what to do until we got the program. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic, man. Way to go. Good job, Brian.
Awesome. What a great story.
So awesome.
I had all these leads in my CRM and I didn't know what to do with it. So
Pass
I
on
did a
deals.
pass on deals. So I
48,000.
48,000.
50,000. Oh my gosh.
So these are great success stories. I absolutely love them, you know, and what is the commonality between all these guys?
Well, at the end of the day, everyone is limited to what they can do without specialized knowledge. That's
Yeah,
really what it
specialized
comes down. That's really what it
It says
comes
in
down to.
Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, right?
That's right. That's right. You got to know how to implement a strategy that's going to work in different markets, not just the one that you think it's always going to be. The market's going to change.
Yeah.
So you have to have multiple strategies to be able to.
Okay, so why would you teach this? Why would you just keep it to yourself?
You know, I really, one, I teach it
Or
because.
just teach me at least and forget everybody else.
Well, you know,
You know,
you're,
why-
you're
why'd
hard
you
to
do that?
convince. Let's just be honest. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I had to. You've seen everything under the sun.
Right.
I mean, how long have you seen everything under the sun? It's
Right.
not easy to get this guy to get excited about a new program.
And then literally implement it in my entire team, right? You know what I mean?
right on top of that, right?
Right.
And so, you know, I really believe, you know, in serving others. And the reason I believe in serving others is because in my own life, right, I had, even though I had 2 older brothers,
Mhm.
I had a big brother sister program. Weatherford, Oklahoma, you're right. I had
I've been there.
he went there and actually saw my brother's name on the football stadium.
Yep.
But so I had a big brother sister program because I made bad choices and things like that. But that guy served me, man, and it made all the difference in my life. It really changed my life, right? And so I always remember whenever I learn something that's really good, right? I have 2 choices. One, I can hold it to my chest, and I might be able to make a lot of money that way, but it's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
Right. Or I can share it. I can serve others with it. I can share it, right?
See,
And I can
incredible
see
stories like that.
Brian.
I know,
and like,
yeah.
I mean, that's amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're excited. Changed their life. I mean, I did the same. I read the, you know, well, first off, it's a biblical principle.
Yeah.
it's you reap what you sow. Number one, and number two, I read the book The Go Giver,
Right.
and the Go Giver talks about the 7 stratospherical laws of success,
Right.
and it talks about these different things, and a lot of it is giving. And if you're a like this will make an impact in people's lives in a positive way.
Well, and why do I serve? Because, you said in the beginning,
Yeah.
you're a God-loving man. I mean, God first served me, right? As a Christian and bully. I mean, God first served me. And so I have a responsibility, I feel like, to serve others. So this program, I'm telling you, with all these, with investors that you and I know, and a lot of them are wholesale, not just buying, holders, but this program is needed. It's not just something that, it's cool. It's needed.
All right, what
especially
is
now
the
in
program? Let's get him in the program.
Yeah,
here.
let's talk about
what is it? So this is a commonality between all these guys making huge checks like that. It's an 8-step retail buyer program. We're going to show you how you get it absolutely free, just like a couple of these guys have.
Yes.
The only issue is Cory at the beginning agreed to take on 88 more students. Now, we have a group, it's called Syndicate 9 Mastermind. Syndicate 9 is a mastermind group for new people, intermediate people, ballers who are doing a ton of business. We had a handful of people reach out to us and say, hey, we want to be a part of this new beta group, a new group that we're working with. So we started at 88 initially. He agreed to 88, taking on 88 students. We currently have 74 because I've let kind of a couple of my mastermind people take up some of your spots. So currently right now, for the Retail Buyer Profits Program, he's only accepting 74 at this time. What's great about the Retail Buyer Profits Program is it's online, it's digital. You can watch the videos, you can download the audio
Right now,
transcript
immediately.
It's right now. It's available immediately.
Right.
It's online right now. You can literally digest the information over the weekend and be doing deals the following week and
Yes.
identifying deals, talking to sellers,
Yes.
contracting deals the following week, which is amazing.
Yes.
So it's killer. So here's the question: who is this for? Right? You might be a real estate wholesaler. You're doing deals. Who is this for? Someone who wants to get in front of the market. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's you want to make sure that if you're seeing the trend, right, you want to be in front of the trend. You don't want to be behind the wave. You want to be in front of the wave.
Yeah.
Right. And so the market right now is changing. I know you got an awesome slide and some information on this on just right now what's going on.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But there's a buyer and seller market, and when that switch happens, you better make sure you know when it is.
Right. Which I think the switch has happened, really.
Yes.
Wants to increase their profit per deal.
Yes.
What does that mean? That's a KPI. What does that mean?
It is. And so when you talk about as a wholesaler, you might have a minimum of $10,000 per deal that you want to make if it's even a good deal, right?
Right.
So you don't make 10 grand, you're not even looking at the deal. So what happens? Now you spent the money on marketing, right? And now you're not doing the deal.
Right.
So it's just a waste
Or just like Brian was talking about, we pass on the deal. So
pass on the
yeah,
pass on the deal.
either it's a zero deal and you get a deal, or it's you take a deal that was a normal $12,000-$13,000 deal, you turn it into a $50,000 deal.
That's right.
So you
So from
increase your-
10,000 to 50,000, it could be a 3 to 5x.
You're looking for a proven system, not something that's
already
doesn't work.
proven,
It's already
it's
been proven.
working.
You're proven. I'm
Yep.
proven. Wants detailed step-by-step program. So there's analytical people they're watching right now that don't want the high 10,000 foot view.
I get it.
They want the hyper specifics on what
Yeah.
to say to a realtor. We got that.
Yeah.
What to say
Scripts.
with scripts and what to say. Contracts, how to fill out the contracts in detail.
Yes.
How to analyze the deal with specific numbers. What numbers do you put in there? How does that work in detail? This is the how-to of how-tos when it comes to this instead of what to do.
Yes.
There's what to do. Hey, you need to get a lead. You need to talk to a seller and get them in this. No, it's not what to do. It's specifically how to do it. And
Right.
he's very analytical and detailed. I am too. So even for me to help him put together this course, I'm like, listen, dude, we have to be detailed. You got to be hyper detailed on how you do it. And he did. It's great.
And you got, and speaking on with realtors, right? Because
Yeah.
there's some questions on realtors I see. The realtor aspect of it's awesome. The
Right.
realtors love it. They get to sell the property for
Right.
more money, right? They're not going to mess up the process. They're selling the property for more money, right?
More money.
And they get paid at closing just the same exact way. There's
Right.
literally no difference for them. All the differences in positioning on how you work with the realtor.
All right. So who is this not for?
I mean, people that want to get rich quick. I mean, that's the obvious one. The people that, want it done for you, and they don't want to put any effort into,
Yeah, can you
they're
do
just
it all for
lazy
me, Corey?
people. Yeah, no.
Unethical, wants to take advantage
Or
of
they
grandma.
take advantage of
right?
grandma.
No.
No.
Whiner, no
Yeah,
backbone, lack of
right.
persistence. Yeah. So that's who it's not for.
Yeah.
So what this is an 8-step retail buyer profits program to learn precisely the plan, how to confidently sell your wholesale properties for retail price, making an additional $10,000 to $15,000 per deal. It's a masterclass. It's already pre-recorded. It's done. It's proven. It's awesome. All the documents, all the scripts, all the contracts, everything's in there, including the spreadsheets.
And the calculator, right? Yep.
Right. Now, here's the thing. Part of this process and the way the videos are laid out is this 8-step process. We got to qualify the seller and the property we talked about. We got a purchase contract, specifically filling it out, what to say and how to do it.
That's exactly right.
Positioning the RBP to the seller.
Yes.
Right. So now you have a seller. Now, how do you get them to opt into the program? How do you persuade them to opt into the program?
They make more money.
And because they can make more money. It's not really a persuasion.
I think, hey, you want to make
a gift.
$3,000
It's
to
not a-
$5,000, $10,000
Yeah.
for waiting an extra 3 weeks?
Right, exactly.
Most
Now
people
we
say
can
yes.
open up escrow, list the property with a realtor, accepting the highest offer. So each one of these has micro steps, right?
Yes.
Listing a property with a realtor, there's micro steps involved on
correct.
exactly how to do
Right.
that. There's accepting the highest offer. What are the offers that come in and why?
Right.
Record a special document, which is your notice of interest. We
Right.
talk about how to do that, the process.
And the
of doing that.
verbiage that's on it is super critical.
Yeah, super
Correct.
critical. Closing the deal, getting the deal closed. And here's one of the most important things is the 7 problems that could potentially come up.
Now you're being proactive.
Now you're now
Yeah.
now if you know the problems, you
Right.
can overcome the problems. You're not blindsided by the problems.
Yes. So helpful.
You know,
so
and you're good to go. So here's the thing: we've got part of this program. It's the Retail Buyer Profits program. You get time-tested and proven retail buyer scripts. Explain those.
Well, I mean, the scripts are ones we use in our business, right? And I didn't want to just have this like, oh yeah, you use it in your business, right? It's like these scripts are what. It's not like just something we said like a ghostwriter makeup.
Yeah.
These are things that work. What didn't work, we took it out. We reiterated. They got down to the best scripts possible, and that's what you get.
Right. You know, it's interesting. I hate to relate this, but if you've seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street, terrible movie. It's bad. Yeah, bad
Yeah.
movie. But there's a portion.
He's
of
a
the
good
movie-
actor, though.
Yeah, very, very good actor. But he has
Jordan
Belfort. But he has a script, and he takes these degenerate people
Right.
with the script, and now they're doing millions of dollars in business because they're closing.
They're following the script.
Following the script. So I relate that to your script, so you can literally take it, and you can follow these
Right.
scripts.
But you guys are degenerates.
No, see, I'm the degenerate. I'm the one that needs the script to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So okay, so attorney reviewed retail buyer contracts. What does that sound like?
Yeah. So the great thing is that we've taken several different purchase contracts over the years and kind of taken bits and pieces of the ones we like, and we came up with what we have now, which is basically a hybrid of some of the best ones that we like, and that's what we share in agreement. I'm telling you, that contract alone, along with ours that we came out with originally, and iterations of it, that contract alone is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And Sean, that contract is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Awesome.
talking to a close friend of mine, Scott Oos.
Yes,
He
and
loves these contracts.
Well, and
he loves these contracts.
Scott loved it because Scott was really instrumental whenever he shared some of the things in his contract that I really liked, and we talked about this too. It's like, when you get the best of the best
Yeah.
and you put it together as
And
a
you put it
hybrid.
together and you kind of mash it together.
It really is
comes
the
out
best.
really good. All right, calculator.
Yeah, the RBP calculator is awesome because you want to make sure that you have a prospectus before you go into the deal.
Yeah.
So you can literally see, like, if I went wholesale, what I might make, right, versus RBP.
Right.
And you have line items that you have to be able to put in there to be able to see that.
Yeah, which is brilliant. You gotta be able to do that.
Yeah.
All right. So now we are doing a live bonus section where you and I get. We'll have a date coming up here shortly. But the bottom line is we're gonna get on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
We're gonna do case studies. We're gonna answer questions. We're
fun.
gonna talk about deals we've done and stuff like that. It's cool. But it's a lot of fun. We actually did that for the small beta group that we did previously, and we were on for 4 hours.
It was a long time,
It
but
was
it's a
4
lot of fun.
hours, and
It's
we
a lot
didn't
of
want
fun.
to get off.
It's a lot
I
of
think
fun.
it was fun.
It's a
We're
lot of
like,
fun.
and people absolutely love it because it was such a small group, and we're all on the Zoom. We're all talking, going back and doing.
And some of those people that were on that group, the ones that did the case studies,
yeah,
they actually did the
that.
deals.
Yeah, so it's really good.
That's awesome.
Now I do live coaching calls every other week. I get on, and I get on coaching calls either Zoom or we do them Facebook Lives or we do whatever we do with them. We do go to webinar, but mostly Zoom. But I get on there, answer questions, do some stuff, and I get on for an hour every other week, and that's a blast to do. So here's the thing: here's everything you get with Retail Buyer.
Yeah.
So the 8-step program itself is worth $19.97 retail value. The time-tested proven scripts and packages $19.97. The attorney review purchase contract a lot more than $29.97. Believe me, I paid my attorney a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Notice of interest you had created attorney fact docs $29.97. RBP calculator you created $4.97. It's probably worth more than that too. Live bonus sessions with you and I $9.97. Bi-weekly coaching calls indefinitely. Yeah. $9.97. I've had people that have been following me on my coaching calls since 2010.
It's amazing,
2011.
12 years.
12 years they've been on coaching calls with me over the years, which is amazing. Now, we have a free, which is a private Discord channel. Now, if you're not familiar with Discord, it's like a chat channel, but it gets everyone together. People can ask questions. Everyone can kind of see. It's pretty good if you kind of want response and stuff. It's good. So Discord's great. It's people are kind of moving away from like Facebook groups and stuff like that, but
it's kind of the new sexy thing that's come on. For
the new sexy thing with Discord, but it's been great. But here's the interesting thing: is this is amazing. This is where people asked actually. People asked that said, in this previous group, it said, how can I get like more of a closer one-on-one access with Cory? Now, the issue is Cory typically, charges over $100,000 for personal one-on-one coaching. If you want to coach him, he knows so many subjects when it comes from investing to multifamily to running a real estate business to cryptocurrencies to everything. I mean, he's like well versed in pretty much anything. He's my go-to person. If I need a contact or need a connection or need something, he knows everybody and he connects with everybody. So for that, there's an added value to that. And I know you have personal students that have done incredibly well, made millions of dollars working with you that have previously not.
Yes.
Which has done well. So what we've basically opened up basically what's called a Voxer channel. Now, I'm not a big Voxer person, but I know you are.
I love it.
Cory. Voxer is basically, what is it?
It's like an old walkie-talkie function like Nextel, where if you remember that, where you had the walkie-talkie function, say something, somebody else, it's the walkie-talkie. But then what they've done is they've taken that and they've added texting to it, gifts, ability to send files. And what's great about Voxer, Sean, is you get a chance to hear the person, and there's no question about inflection.
Right.
There's no question about how they said it, when they said it. So whenever I get on there, we have this amazing chat group on this Voxer.
Right on, man. I'll just keep it for now unless you want me off.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So he's like a little Voxer. So it's all that, like the message in there. If I want to do Cory Boatright, what's up, Big Daddy? Right. So it's like. So you just go there and it's like a Voxer and it has all the messages in there and everything.
Yeah, so Sean just messaged me, right?
So it's good because
What's up, Sean? What's up, Sean? So imagine that, right? It's you and I talking to each other, right? And I can send you text, and then I can send you something individually. I can send the group something, but someone comes on and says, "Hey, man, how?" I was talking to Tammy on this, and I was like, "Tammy, tell me about this deal that we had going on right recently, and she was telling me,
Wait on time. Once we get title back, get it close.
there you go.
Awesome. How about the what's the deal? What's the one in Meridian? Did we get the roof put on in Meridian, Mississippi?
So we've already gotten the roof put on in Meridian, Mississippi.
Awesome. And how are you feeling today? Like from your surgery?
She had a surgery. She had a stent taken out.
Ow.
Are you okay?
I'm starting to feel a little better. The anesthesia is finally starting to wear off my head, and I got some pretty nice painkillers. Yeah.
Don't take too many of them. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate you, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.
So
Okay, have a good day.
there you go. So, and then you can transcribe this in real time. I don't know if you can, but you can see this transcribes in real time. So if you're on a if you're, in a meeting, you can hit the button as people are talking, it comes in as a transcription.
Well,
I run our
Your
our
entire
team.
business.
So
right now.
imagine this, right? You close a deal. Great job. We closed the deal. Awesome. Now you have a little GIF.
Booyah,
coming through. Oh yeah, touchdown, a little GIF. So it's great for motivation. But what's cool about it is the one-on-one aspect and the personalization.
Right, because you can ask a question and you get
Yeah.
the direct question answer
Yeah.
with your own inflection, your own voice,
Yeah.
your own.
That
things
is
like
missing in these sterile components of
Yes.
like texting, communities, even the Discord.
Unless you send like video chat, but that's
Unless
kind of
video
weird.
chat,
you know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Which you can send videos through it as well. It's great.
Right. So.
Which I
so-
will, by the way, send videos as well to be able to do screenshots and screen shares of something to show you something. It's great.
Right. So if you want to have access to Cory via Voxer and be able to ask questions,
Man,
and
that's
he can
exciting.
answer them back in his own voice.
Love it.
It's almost literally like one-on-one coaching. You get to have access to that, which is amazing. All right. So
Yeah.
Retail Buyer Profits Program, 8-step program, it's an $18,179 value. And would you pay $29.97? So we asked these guys what they pay, and it's a little bit different. So here's the interesting thing: double decker guarantee. What the heck is that? You put that together?
I love that picture.
Well, it's
It's awesome.
because I'm hungry.
Big old roast beef.
Yeah,
all
big
kinds of-
roast beef.
But the
back
thing
there.
is, you get more than what you initially thought, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so
More than you can handle.
we have a
right?
30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, meaning no questions asked, right?
Yep.
You get it, the program 30
So
days.
you want basically no brainer.
No brainer that, hey, you get this. Hey, you guys were great. I got this because I like Sean's shirt. I like his attitude, or I like Cory's smile, or whatever. And then what happened is, it's puffed up, and so I want my money back. No questions. That 30-day guarantee, they get that. Or
Yeah, or if
And- or
if you-
and-
have you ever
and-
have you ever gotten a program? You ever gotten a program and you get in, you go, this is not exactly what I thought, or
Right.
this is not what they promised.
right.
Now, I don't do programs like that. I try not to do programs like that. I try to make them so detailed, hyper specific, incredible, and awesome. It'll change people's lives. You do too. I've helped you put this program together, so I can tell you
Yeah.
this is, if it's not for you, then I don't know what is. But the bottom line is that if you don't like it for whatever reason, get 30 days.
30-day money-back guarantee. So that's no
Now,
question.
here's the cool thing. This is called the Tuition Reimbursement Program.
Love it, man. We want you to have no reason not to get into this program.
Yep.
And we want to reward you whenever you do it. So what happens is, whenever you come into the program, you do a deal within 6 months. 6 months of doing a deal, you got to turn in your proof,
HUD or check or
your
proof,
purchase
right?
agreement, and
we'll
a
do a
video
video. We'll do a
testimonial,
video. We'll do like
just
a
like you
recording,
saw.
just like you saw,
right?
Yep.
And you get the program for free.
For free.
Free. You don't have to pay a
Absolutely free.
single penny.
Anybody who signs
for the
up,
program.
all 88 people, I would love to give them all back for 100% free.
Awesome. Love
100% free, because it's great seeing success stories. Now, here's the thing: is that obviously you got to invest in yourself. Any program I've ever given for free to
Yeah, good
anybody,
point. Right.
they have never,
Never done anything. They don't see the value.
ever become
Right.
successful.
Right.
But the ones that pay for it, put the time, sweat, and energy, and then they value what they paid for it.
Right.
They learn the information, they get success. And what we want to do is
true.
for someone that pays for it, that invest in themselves, and they apply the work and the effort. You'll guess what? As a reward, they can get fully reimbursed of their tuition,
Awesome.
which is amazing.
That's great.
So here's the thing: he's only accepting 74 more students. We've had some of our mastermind group that took a handful of the slots right there now. So that's all we have. So here's the thing: how much have you lost selling your wholesale deals?
That's just
Well,
aggravating.
the average retail profit
That's
loss,
low.
and that is actually pretty low. It's
Low.
about $10,000, right? If it's just $10,000, 5 deals at 10,000 is 50,000. 10 deals is 100,000 in revenue lost, and 20 deals is $200,000
Right.
lost. So here's the thing. I want to show you something real quick. Is that this right here? This
is wild.
This is interesting right here, because I want to show you this to you, because this is the 2008 recession. These gray sections are recession, and literally this goes all the way back to 1990 1965. So we get the 70s. We got real estate is up to 9 months supply back in 75. We have right here back in the 1980s 11 months supply. We back here 11 months supply in 81. So what was happening in 81? You know, is like there we have right here in 1990. What was happening in 1991?
Well, resolution transaction. Resolution Trust Act. Yeah.
It was it was a market crash.
Right.
In a real estate, you could buy properties pennies on a dollar, and had 9.4% supply in that area. So now if we zoom in to the 2008, let's look at 2008 right here, because that's most recent. Look at the market was going on in 2004. The market was hot in 2004, 2005. And look, it started to pick up, and we got to about right here, 7 months supply right here. And we're talking of July of 2006, and then went down a little bit. Then it spiked up to 7, then it went down, then it went back up to 8, 9.2 months supply in August 2007. Now, let's go back to August 2007.
Oh my gosh. Short sales, baby.
No, not yet.
Oh yeah,
not
it's
yet.
coming.
Not yet.
It's coming.
So here's the question: do you buy land in August 2007? No. Do you do financing, like seller financing? So you see all this seller financing. Oh, let's do seller financing. We'll get together seller financing. Do you do seller financing in that time? When you have 9 months supply, do you do seller financing? No, run! If you see anybody preaching seller financing in this market right now, run as fast as you can, right? Do you buy houses as investments right now?
Right now, man, it's changing.
Unless you get
the market really changing right now.
50 cents on the dollar, right? If you can do that, right? And you can cash flow it. So here's the thing. If we go back and let's keep looking here, is because this is interesting. Now we go back. What happened in we're at 9.2 months supply. What happened? Progressively. Now, does anybody remember end of 2008 and 2009? They called it the Great Recession.
Right.
You went out in the street and there was foreclosures everywhere, bloodbath in real estate. Houses in Phoenix went from 250,000 to 20 to 30,000. Parts of Florida were completely abandoned. Neighborhoods completely abandoned.
California too. Yeah.
It was California. It just
done.
got plummeted. So again, now if you're buying a house to personally live in, and you're going to live there for a distance of time, it doesn't really matter. It's just paper. Paper goes up, paper goes down, right?
Right.
But if you're going to investment property standpoint, you're looking to invest in real estate, and I want to buy a rental. I want to use seller financing. I want to buy land right now and entitle it and try to sell it. Don't even think about it during this current real estate market right now. I'm telling you. Now, if we go back and we look right here, we got 12 months supply. What happened here? How did this happen right here? How did this happen? It's called by the Federal Reserve, right? That area. It's quantitative easing, meaning they pump money in the market, they lower interest rates. So they lowered interest rates, they pump money into the market. It's called quantitative easing. And what happens is inventory collapsed because inventory went down because now money can start buying. So now let's look at where we are right now. This is crazy. We went all the way down here to 4 months supply in 2013. We went like a sideways channel right here. We went up and then we went down, then went boom in the pandemic. We went up to 6 months, then bam,
COVID.
But now what did we do here? What did the Federal Reserve do here in April?
Freaking things started printing
quantitative easing to the tune
crazy money
of up to the tune of trillions of dollars that they did quantitative easing. They lowered interest rates to zero. Guess what? Guess where we were? 3.3 months supply. Now, what does 3.3 months supply look like?
Not much.
You can't find a house.
Can't find a house.
You can't find it. The market's going crazy. It's going nuts, right? And we go back.
Lots of buyers, not many sellers.
Now, what has happened? We're talking just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We went from 3.4 months of supply up to 6 in 2021. We went down in January of 2022. We're at 5 months. Now, what are the interest rates of January 2022?
3%.
3%.
3.5%. Yeah.
Right. Where are the interest rates now and going?
5% and going up.
So we could go 5, 6, 7%. We can 6%.
Yep.
Now with the Federal Reserve doing more rate hikes, could it essentially get to 10, 11%?
I mean, you never know what could happen. Right.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is, look where we are right now. I'm going to zoom in just right around here. Look where we are. Look at this. Look at this. We went down, and now where are we right here? 9 months supply. Now let's go historically. Where were we 9 months? 9 months right here, 9 months supply.
Yeah.
Right? Is the same right here as 2010. Is the same as the recession, the height of the recession in 1991. 1991. We're looking at same now. Here's my question to you.
Look at that 2010. It just literally drops off a cliff.
Drops off a cliff. Yep. Now, let me ask you a question right here. Do you think it's going to continue going up? That's the question you have to ask yourself as a real estate investor.
The market,
right? Because it's probability. Where's the probability? Is the probability the inventory is going to go down? Inventory drives pricing, right? Is the probability inventory is going to go down?
No,
probably not. If you raise interest rates, and it makes harder to develop. Now, what if we have not? What if we have not talked about here?
COVID, where they basically said you don't
Moratorium.
have to make a payment for 2 years on your house.
So there are right now,
Which, by the way, the foreclosure data that's out right now, right? That's like, it's like, maybe, 100,000 or 200, whatever the number is. It does not include forbearances and loan modifications.
Right.
Which is majority of what happened during COVID for people not making house payments for 2 years. But now they're going to have to pay the piper.
okay, so just give an example of foreclosures. In December in Maricopa County, there was 138 foreclosures in Maricopa County in December. Today, right? Today, there's about 1,200 foreclosures. 138 to 1,200. That's 1,000%. That's a 10x. That's 1,000% increase.
And rising.
That is what's happening all across the entire country. In the next 6 to 8 months, we're going to see a bloodbath of these foreclosures hit the market because they postpone it, they kicked it down the street, postpone it. And now we're seeing it in the housing market, and all you got to do is just look. So what's the probability of this going back down to 3 months supply? Low. So now what's the probability of this going up here to shoot up here to like 12 months supply? We got 3 more months of supply to add on here, and we're going to be basically back in an instant to 2008 Great Recession levels,
or worse.
So here's the thing: did investors buy and hold, fix and flip investors buy in droves during those times?
At the end of the day, these investors are
no.
Not.
Now there was bigger hedge funds that came in that bought,
and they usually want the newer stuff too.
Yeah.
Not the vintage stuff.
Not the vintage stuff. So what's going to happen is the pool is retail buyers. Because I know retail buyers have bought in 2008 because it doesn't matter because if you're living in the home, right?
You bought your beach house.
Yeah, I bought my beach house.
You did your beach house in when did you buy it?
The height of the market. And in 2005. I bought it in 2000.
And you held it and
held it all the way through.
Still made money. You bought it at the height of the market.
Bought it at 1.1, sold it for 1.6 over the years. Yep. And so here's the thing. What do we do at the height of the market? Then we start doing at the height of the inventory. That's it. Height of the inventory. When we have super high inventory, then you do creative financing deals, then you entitle land, then you do development projects, and then the inventory goes down. And you have a forced appreciation in the value.
Right.
So we're sitting at a point right now where we're at inventory where now we have to sell to retail buyers.
Or your profits are getting squeezed.
Yeah, because and I'll give you an example. We have our best buyer in Southern California is basically backed out of the market right now, and now he's saying I'm only properties he'd normally buy for 900, he's now buying for 700. Right? Guess what? It's a buyer's market now. It's a buyer's market. Mark my words. From this today forward, we're in a buyer's market. Moving forward, just because this inventory, we're literally back to 2010. We're back to 1981 inventory levels. right now, almost overnight. It's been
It's crazy.
like we've never seen before.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, we're sitting here, look at this, is what are you going to do? So what we did is we put this together, right? Instead of, charging, $29.97 or $19.97, wanted to make it affordable, $9.97 or 3 pay of $3.67. So that's literally
Yeah.
$18,000 in value.
Yes.
$18,000 in value for $9.97. Now here's the deal. You take $10,000 minus $9.97 on your average deal. If you get one deal in a year, right, or 6 months or whatever, right, $9,300. That's a 10x profit. A 10x profit. Just on this right here.
And none of our case studies were even that low. Take that number times 4.
Yeah.
Is really what you'd be losing out
Yeah.
on, right? Yeah.
So where can you invest $9.97 and get a 1,000% return on your money? All you got to do is go to getrbpprofits.com, getrbpprofits.com. Go there now.
Yeah.
You can sign up, $18,179 value. You can do a $9.97 or a 3 pay.
Malaki, thanks.
Of
Get it.
$3.97. You can do that. So let me go there right now.
We got people doing that right. I'm telling you, those spots are going to go fast. Get on that, rbpprofits.com. This is extremely affordable. And the PayPal program, Sean, that they can get it instantly approved, right? And then like their payments like $15-20 a month or something.
Right.
It's crazy. Like there's no reason to say I don't have an ability to get it. We want to make it affordable for anybody that can get it. Yeah. It's a crazy affordable program, and the value is way higher, right? That was the motivation. So you could see all the value, you could see all the case studies, you could see the real world example of people doing deals, right? And just imagine if you miss out on one of those deals, just one, right? It could be a $30,000, a $40,000, a $50,000 profit that vanished because 1, you didn't even notice it was there, right? Or 2, you did not know how to file this document.
All right, so here it is, how to sell your wholesale properties retail.
Oh, this is the checkout page.
Right. So
Okay,
go here and you go here and you can go to, it'll basically get RB profits. You go here, you can select 3 pay or you can select one pay. Here's all the bonuses you get. Here's where you got PayPal credit, buy now, pay later, which is great. You get all the spreadsheets, A+ rating.
That's awesome.
Go down here, everything you get. Here's some case studies and success stories right here, which
That's
is great.
awesome.
And then you're good to go right there. So all you got to do is getrbprofits.com, getrbprofits.com, and then you'll be good to go and you can sign up. So here's the thing. Here's a couple of the questions, right? A couple of the questions is, number 1, how much money are you leaving on the table?
Right.
Right. How much money are you leaving on the table selling retail? The second question is, there's a market shift coming. We know it. Interest rates are rising. Craziness is going on in the country. We could be potentially going into a recession. We'll know actually data coming up here soon.
Yeah,
so we could be going into recession.
Yeah.
We've got housing starts came out today and plummeted, literally plummeted. There is a shift in the housing market. If you do not get in front of this, my question to you is this, is if your cash buyers, your buy and hold buyers exited the market, how would your business survive?
It's a good question.
How would your business survive? Now, imagine having 4, 5, 6 properties that you bought, you're in contract, you put them out to the market, you put them on Investor Lift, you try to sell it, you put it out to the market, and you hear crickets.
And nobody's buying.
Nobody's buying. Nobody's buying, or they're offering stupid low numbers on your properties. What do you do?
Less than what you
now
have.
you got to go renegotiate with the seller, and the seller may owe more than that. Now you're in a situation. Now, if you understand the retail buyer program, there's always retail buyers. There are always conventional loans. They're always, because they're buying for the long term. They don't really care. They just want a house. They don't want a house they can live in. They want to do it. Now there's more inventory that's hitting the market. They now have choices and they want a house. And guess what? If you can offer a deal and you can offer a house where they can buy conventional, they're going to jump all over it.
Yeah,
So,
and the retail buyer isn't price sensitive, right?
Yeah.
Like the investors, the cash investors and cash buyers, they want to have a
Good point.
20% buffer, or they want to, if they're a buy and holder, they want to be able to have enough to have the 1% rule to rent it out, or whatever it is, or fix and flipper. They need to have at least 20% to make a profit on it, right?
Right.
The retail buyer, likes the tree in the front yard.
Yeah.
They like the elementary school. They like the swing set
Yeah.
that comes with the house, right? They like the way that the layout of the house is,
Right.
and the mother or the wife is making decisions saying, "Honey, I want this house," and
I
the
want
guy's
this
like,
The guy's like,
"But I have
whatever.
to pay."
Yeah,
Like, and
take
they-
it.
I'll take it, right? Because they're not price sensitive, and right, the other thing is they're getting a loan, so they're usually right are trying to get as much house as they can for the amount of money that they have, right? So what happens is you have now a control mechanism that you can help them with concessions. You can help them with repairs,
Right.
inspections, appraise. You can help them with all these different fees to potentially, Sean, sometimes we get offers that we're only asking 185, but we write it up for 190,
Right.
right? And you can do that and buy, and essentially what happens when you do that, when you basically sell the house for the most amount of money possible, right? The agent that's working with you is super happy, right? Because they make as much as possible. The buyer's happy because now they get the house that they want, and there's practically no inventory right now, but that's kind of changing. But you know that you help them, and then the seller that you're working with, because they opted into the retail buyer program, they made more money by doing it.
Right. All right. So we have
You
an
make
issue.
money too.
We have an issue. We basically have.
I guarantee there's way less than 74.
Yeah, we have. I mean, literally, we have. I mean,
Look at-
there,
look at
there are
this.
people
Look at the
ordering. I mean,
sales
like
coming in.
ordering like
Look
like
at the
crazy.
sales
So
coming in.
here's the
It's
problem.
nuts.
We have
That's nuts.
right now 74
Way less than
people,
that.
but
Way
it's
less.
way less now.
Yeah.
It's probably almost gone like right now.
Look at all these sales
Um,
coming in.
Yeah.
I'm
so
telling you, it's so
yeah.
affordable that there's no reason not to. And if you look at the people that actually did the program, they were also, by the way, in our
Yeah.
on our live Q&A. Some of them that work. So if you do the program, you can get it for free by essentially doing the program in 6 months. Turn in
Yeah.
your deal, show proof, right? Have a
Yeah.
video testimonial and get a reimbursement.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like why would
Why wouldn't you not? Why would you not do it?
All right, so he's got 74. So let me
Way less than
Alec had some questions. Alec, can you
Yeah,
get
questions.
for me to hit up? So we'll answer a couple questions here, but
Get on the chat.
honestly, it's we got a lot.
Mona,
Okay.
Mona.
All right,
Mona.
when listing the property with a realtor, could they mess up the deal? Whoa.
Yeah, go back. Oh, Mona. Oh, yeah.
Okay, could they mess up the deal before the double close? So first off, do we do a double close with this program?
No.
No double close. So they're not going to mess up the deal. The realtor is getting, how much does the realtor make?
Usually the same amount of money that if you work with regular realtors, so 3%.
Yeah, so they make a 3% commission to be able to do that, right? So they're not going to. And what does the realtor make on these deals? 3 to 6%. So you're going to pay 6%, 3% to the buyer, unless you do a flat fee listing. If
Right.
you do a flat fee listing, you can, and those are typically
$200.
couple $100.
We do a
You
lot of those.
Yeah, we do a lot of those. I actually do a lot of flat fee
Yes.
listings that we sell. But if you're going to sell to a retail buyer, you would typically do a flat fee listing or just hire a realtor to do it in 6% or 3%. And no, they don't. Why would they're not. They don't want to screw up a deal because they want to make money.
Well, and here's the deal. Let's be really clear, right? On a traditional transaction, you have a buyer agent and a seller agent, right? You have 3% over here, 3% over here. So it's 6% of that deal you have to give up. Let's say in a $100,000 deal, there's 6,000, right?
Right.
On this program, right? You're still going to, let's say you list it for a flat fee for $200.
Right.
Now, the buyer that's coming in, they're usually going to have an agent that they're working with.
Right.
So you're going to have to pay either 2% or 3% or, you know, whatever you put on there. Usually it's 3%.
Right.
So now that's half of what your normal transaction is, right?
Exactly. Right.
But if you find an agent that, and you tell them, listen, I want to keep the deal off market, which
Right.
we've done before too, you might agree to pay that agent 4%.
Right.
Right. So you're still saving off the traditional 6%.
Right.
And oftentimes you're
Yeah.
going to list these deals flat fee, so you'll save a significant amount, usually half.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's literally it's a no brainer. So let me just tell you just real quick here. This is like everything you get. You get the retail buyer products, the 8-step program. It's a full detailed program, 1997, time tested, proven scripts that he wrote. He has the attorney review purchase contract, step by step, how to go through it, how to fill it out, and everything. The
Specifically, step
step
by
by
step.
step. Notice of interest plus the attorney and fact docs. You typically have to pay for that stuff. RBP calculator you created, you can't get anywhere else on the planet. 987 live bonus with us that we're going to do a live Zoom call until we
And we'll
pass
have
out.
people in that call, right, that will do deals and they will get the reimbursement
Yeah,
program.
they'll get
I
that. Yep.
guarantee
And
it.
then $9.97. This is indefinite coaching calls with me. So this
Awesome.
is the
Awesome value.
$18,000 value.
Amazing.
And guess what? All you got to do is you can get it for either single pay at $9.97, 3 pay of $3.97. All you get to sign up, and here's everything. Or if you want to use PayPal, where you get to buy now and pay later, you get instant qualification, instant access to the course. Meaning you could be right now. You could just say, "Hey, I'm in. You know what? I got absolutely nothing to lose. Sign me up. Sign me up here. Get me in. I'm going to be instant access to the course right now."
Going right away.
And do it. So you could be doing deals next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Go
Now,
through the course of the weekend.
think
and
about
start
it.
doing
Think of how much money do you have in your database of you could talk to people that want retail deals.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Because all that money you pay for marketing, right?
Yeah.
You thought those deals were dead.
Mhm.
And they seem to be they can be brought back from the dead.
Yeah, because you can go back to all these leads that you already paid for and
Right.
pull money out of those leads.
Pull money from the
retail
dead.
buyer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So picture this conversation with a seller. Picture, I just did it the other day. You call up the seller and you talk to them, "Hey, listen, I understand you want X, right, for the property. What if I could get you that price that you want
Oh,
for the what if I could get you the price the
good.
property you want, and we could do it to where we could close on up, a 30-day, 45-day prime. I could get your price that you want for the property, where normally I wouldn't, because my typical where my cash offer is going to be here. If you can give me some more time, and I can turn around and get you that price, would you be interested?" Right? And of course they're going to say yes. Of course they'll be interested, right? Your pitch is like,
and by the way, you're getting that much more money, right,
Yeah.
for doing the deal. And before they're like, yeah, like
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
want in the first place.
Yeah.
I wanted the higher offer.
yeah, I wanted the higher offer. So the cool thing is about you got your scripts in there. You can lay it out and it
Yeah.
explains exactly what to do. But
I bet you right now it just clicked. While you saying that,
yeah,
it just clicked.
because
Right? For
all you
some
got to do
people,
is make a call.
you gotta make
Say,
a
"Listen,
call in your CRM right now. You have money waiting in your CRM right now.
hundreds of thousands. Okay, you want me to do the numbers? Okay, and I just did this the other day with one of our students in there. So let's say, and he had I think it was like 328 leads in his database.
That he wasn't doing anything with.
Other than doing anything with. Now, leads per deal is roughly about 32, and
32.
that's fine, right? So 32, that's 10 contracts. Now, let's say you get
A regular wholesale.
at 32 regular.
Okay.
But now you're going to get a RBP deal to add another 20. So let's call it $40,000
Oh, it's at least double. I
per
mean,
per deal,
it's at least
right?
half of the 32.
Yeah.
It's probably at least
So
probably
you're
15.
talking 10 contracts times $40,000 per deal. You're talking, if you have
almost $500,000.
300 leads in your database, there's
That's
400,000 in
exciting.
revenue in your database.
Well, Sean, actually, it'd be $399 because they have to pay for the course.
Right, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Golly, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
It'd be good. So make sure you go to
That's awesome.
go to getrbprofits.com.
GetRBProfits.com.
GetRBProfits.com. You go here. It's getrbprofits.com. Getrbprofits.com. It's not $19.97, $29.97. It's $97 or
So
$3.97.
great.
Get that. You must
Offer.
learn this, because as the market shift and cash buyers go away, you're going to be wondering why the heck you didn't do this, right? So all you got to do here is go here. This will take you to this page right here. If you have any questions, call Chelsea up here, right? Call
that guy.
I don't know. Call Chelsea right up here.
Chelsea.
Or you can hit her up at help at Flip to Freedom. You have any
She's
questions
awesome.
right
She's
here?
cool.
Yep, she's amazing.
Yep.
Pick your one single pay. You can do a 3 pay, or you can do this right here. All right, Alec, any more? You got another question?
Some questions on.
All right, can this be done in Canada? What if you live outside
Never
the
done
US? Perfect. No, actually, I have in our mastermind several girls that live in Israel,
Okay.
and they do deals in the United States, but they live
in Israel.
Live in Israel.
Okay. Okay.
I have a couple people a couple students that live in Canada, and they do deals in the United States.
Okay.
So what this program teaches, even everything that I teach,
Yeah.
everything that you teach, teaches how to do deals in the US.
Right.
Now, if you live overseas, you can do deals in the US.
Yes.
Right. But I can't teach you how to do deals in Canada, and I definitely can't teach you how to do deals
Well,
in Israel.
and there's a lot of stuff going down the pipes right now with regulation in Canada. Let's not forget about that right now. like trying to do deals and buy deals from outside of Canada, and that's the United States. So that's a really iffy one. I've never done a deal, in Canada with the program, but I do know people that have lived in Canada that have bought deals in the United States.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing. We got a lot of stuff as real estate wholesalers coming at us today. We've got the whole economy. We got interest rates, we got inflation,
Right.
we've got the recession, there's wars, there's all this crazy stuff. We got elections coming up in November. That means we got monkeypox that's coming out, right? All this nuts stuff that's coming out, right? But guess what? There's always retail buyers going to buy in the market. Now you have regulation. So now there's Nebraska's been regulated. You got Oklahoma's been regulated for wholesalers specifically to not assign your properties or particularly market your properties.
Yeah. Arizona.
Arizona this, or you just have to disclose you potentially would wholesale the property under contract.
Right.
So that being said, how does this play into that?
It's perfect. At the end of the day, I mean, you don't have to worry about that. You're not
assigning, you're not double
double
escrowing, you're selling it retail buyer, you have full disclosure with the seller.
Everybody's making more money.
It's a win-win, and you can do it all over the country.
It's really a beautiful thing.
So it's regulation proof.
I like that.
It's
Great.
recession proof.
I like that too.
Right? And you make more money doing it even as a real estate
And the seller makes more money.
wholesaler. Why
Right.
wouldn't you do it?
Right.
And it's very easy to pitch to a seller. All right. Next question, Alex. Is there a difference between state-approved residential offer to purchase agreement to one that isn't? Is one better than the other? A guy told me to use only the.
So he's saying like an MLS approved agreement versus like an investor.
Yeah.
I have our contracts in our program that you are welcome to use. But here's what happens. Reality is whenever a buyer contract comes over, it's going to come over from an MLS document if it's on the MLS.
Yeah.
It's going to come over from an MLS contract.
Yeah.
So the important thing is when you understand how to do the retail buyer program, Mike, you'll understand that the contract piece of it is important in terms of you having an agreement with the seller, right? And then having that agreement turn out to be necessarily a backup agreement. But what happens is that when the buyer contract comes over, that's the one that you'll actually end up using to close a title.
Right.
Yeah.
I think honestly, the program is just worth getting this calculator. I mean this calculator, it's like you put in your numbers, you put it in, it spits it out. It covers all bases with real estate commission, any type of fees that have to happen, any type of repairs that have to happen, any of that stuff, and it literally spits out: is this a deal or no deal?
Yeah, deal or no deal.
Yeah, and you look at your wholesale fee and you go, hey, a wholesale fee, I'm not only gonna make this. Retail fee, I'm going to make this.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a massive difference.
It's a big difference.
Big difference in that.
$19,000.
Yeah,
awesome.
big. So that's just that alone is
that calculator helps for sure.
Definitely worth it.
Why would cash buyers go away if they can buy at lower value? Well, here's the thing: they can't. They can't necessarily buy at lower values, right?
They can. I mean, it depends if they own it free and clear.
It'll have a place where they're adjusting their buy criteria. But here's the deal. Now you got people that are used to selling at a certain percentage, which are wholesalers. They're used to selling, right?
Well,
and those cash buyers are used to buying at a certain percentage.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about what the cash buyer is going to do with the property.
Okay.
Because we got to talk about their exit, right?
Right.
Okay. And all you have to do now is you have to go back and you have to look at where we are on the Fred data. So we go back and look at what are they going to do? What did these cash buyers do that bought right here?
Yeah.
Can you now think about this? We have three buyers as a real estate wholesaler. Three buyers. We have a retail buyer, which we're talking about, which is the largest pool of buyers in the marketplace.
Yeah, all MLS.
We have a buy and hold buyer. But now let's say you're a buy and hold buyer. Do you really want to buy as the market's entering a correction? Or would you like to wait till the market is corrected and now retracing back, right? And now You want to start buying equities when the Federal Reserve and government is quantitative easing, pumping money into the market. You want to start pulling money off the table, like the stock market, everything. When the Federal Reserve is quantitative tightening, pulling money out of the market. When they push money in the market, stocks, commodities, like you've seen, go through the roof right now, and real estate has gone through the roof. As soon as they pivot their quantitative process or quantitative policies, you have to take money off the table and you do the opposite. You do the opposite. So your question is, why would cash buyers, why don't they buy lower? Let me ask you a question. If you had the ability to buy lower, would you fix and flip in an environment on a rising? You can't project what the property is going to sell for on a fix and flip.
Right.
You can't project what's
Yeah,
going to
it's
sell
moving,
for.
it's volatility.
And if you're a buy and hold and you got a moving, something that's moving like that, how could you do that? And the rentals are potentially decreasing. The numbers are, you know what I mean? And why would you, as a buy and holder, I would want to sit and wait until the market corrects.
Right.
And then I'm going to come in and buy.
Right.
What I mean, smart money is going to sit on the sideline and wait for sign. It's called a signal. And I trade stocks. You trade, stocks,
Options,
cryptos, and
stuff,
options,
yeah.
stuff like that. When you're looking at a stock chart, you're looking for specific signals to enter the market and signals to exit the market.
That's good.
Real estate is the exact same thing. Right now, people are looking that there are already signals in the air, quantitative tightening, raising interest rates, inflationary, and they're looking at saying, it's a signal to exit the market because the Federal Reserve is quantitative tightening. They're pulling money out of the market. I have to exit the market right now, and that's what they're doing in droves.
Well, Mike, if you put that question back on there, I think it's from Mike. Mike, the other thing that the question to really be asking underneath that Nathan, the question to be asking underneath that question, right, is, let's say that they do buy at lower values. What's that do to you or your profits as a wholesaler? It starts to squeeze, and now you're not making $15,000 on your deals. Now you're making, 11,000. Now you're making, because they're buying them for a cheaper amount of money. Now you're making less profit. As a wholesaler with the retail buyer program, you make more money, right? Because you're selling to a premium buyer that's emotionally engaged by buying, not necessarily equity sensitive or price sensitive.
Yeah, because they're buying for neighborhoods, and schools, and stuff like that.
right.
And they got to move and they got to relocate.
Right. So your
So
profits
the
aren't
question is,
squeezed
I got
out.
to ask Nathan, if you had $100 million in the bank, or $50 million, or $10 million in the bank, and you're knowing what you know about the market now, would you buy now? You'd be a cash buyer. Would you buy now? Smart money would say no.
Right.
Smart money would wait for the signal. Wait till they start pivoting. The Federal Reserve pivots their process.
Well, there's blood in the streets, which is happening.
Blood in the streets.
Coming.
Yeah, and
right.
do that, and then
Wait till there's blood in the streets from standpoint of housing, Nathan, and that's when you start opening up.
And we don't have blood in the streets yet. We're not
we
even
don't have there yet.
close
How
to
they
blood
go.
in the streets.
Right.
where we
Good
are.
question.
All right, next week. Great question.
Mona, did you buy? I think Mona signed up. Thank you, Mona.
Mona, I thought I heard Cory mention a double close situation, so there is no discrepancies with your spreads. Also, there are more traditional deals. Wait a minute. Also, these are more traditional deals. Is that why you would need the realtor since this isn't regular off-market wholesale deals?
Okay, that's a long question. So I thought a double close situations, there's no discrepancy on your spreads. Okay, so essentially, when you double close, right, you don't necessarily, you can have blind HUDs, and we're not going to get into that right now, but basically the owner of the property, if you bought it for 100 and you sold it for 150, you probably don't want them to necessarily know, and they might get upset. Let's say that you bought it for 100 and you sold it for 150 because they think they might could have made more money from you, right? That's what she's saying there. In this situation with retail buyer program, Mona, you don't have to worry about a double close, and they already are opting into the retail buyer program. So the positioning, and I this is scripts and everything in the program, and you'll learn this because I saw you signed up. Thank you. You're going to understand that basically they're opting into the program. So whenever it comes time to close and they see the dollar amount, because they also are the ones that are agreeing to the final sales price. In this situation, they'd be agreeing to that 150. The seller is signing to agree to the 150. Why would they do that when they already have an agreement potentially with you at the backup for the 100,000? Is because you've opted into the retail buyer program, and they would not be getting let's say 105 for that example, or 100 if it was 95,000, you gave them $5,000 more. They wouldn't be getting that extra money unless they opted into the program, and that program, right, is going to allow you to basically have a justification of why you're selling it for a retail price.
Exactly.
Good
All
question.
right. So make sure you go to getrbprofits.com, getrbprofits.com. When you go there, you'll land on this page right here. You can select either a single pay or you can select a 3-pay. We try to make it as affordable as possible. Cory has taking on 74.
Dude, look at your phone.
70,
I guarantee
yeah,
your phone
70
is blowing up
74.
with sales. There's
Right.
no way there's
Yeah,
even
I mean-
close to 74. I would guess,
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably less than 15 spots available. I
Yeah.
mean, those sales are flowing in.
I mean, they're literally just
flowing in.
playing it right now. So the bottom line is, you guess can the seller get mad about the deal and mess up everything?
I mean, a seller can get upset, but that's why we done reiterate. So you're asking questions that we already went through the pain and all of the different things of non-positioning and messing up and then changing around. You're getting the best of the result that we have, Michael. And so now they opt into the program. So you're going to see much less of them getting upset about a deal when they opt into the program, and they understand that the only way they're getting that extra money is by opting into that program. And so typically they're not going to mess it up because they're not going to get paid if they do. And they don't really care that the dollar amount is, in this example, you had it for 100 or 105 and you sold it for 150, because out of the 150, you don't get all of it, right? The agent has to get paid. The inspection has to get paid. There might be, paint peeling has to get paid. There might be a concession that has to be, and there's all these things, and they don't know how to facilitate that in order to make the transaction happen. And that's where your value is from your notice of interest. Great question. Any other questions? Oh, yeah, got lots of them.
Will they break down how to do this virtually?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You do all virtual. I do all my deals virtually.
Right.
If some people can do this from Israel, I would think so. Yes, just curious. Great question, Chris. I do all my deals virtually. We do just maybe a handful a year in Phoenix just because the leads come in.
Right.
You do all your deals virtually. So it's completely, this entire program is around doing retail deals virtually across the country. That's pretty much the premise.
Yeah, it's not location centric in terms of, you could have people in another country doing deals in the United States, and closing on them, and no challenge there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, great, absolutely, Chris. Can you go over the part where the wholesaler makes money without the assignment of contract?
Sure. So I mean, in an assignment situation, right? You probably already understand it, Chris, right? The difference basically with the retail buyer program is that they're opting into a special program. Now, let's say your company, Chris, is called Need to Sell Now. So Chris's Need to Sell Now retail buyer program, they're opting into that. Now, why would they opt into it? Because instead of being able to offer $100,000, now you're giving them $105,000. And so now they're super happy about getting the $105,000. Now, what's going to happen is once you agree to that, right, there's going to be a special process that takes place and a position that takes place where your now notice of interest agreement is filed on record of county, and it's got to have specific documentation that's in there, specific things in that agreement.
So this is step 7.
That's step 7. That's
so
right.
you're going to file a notice of interest. So explain what a notice of interest is.
Yeah, so a notice of interest basically just gives the world interest.
It's literally
it's
a single piece of paper that's recorded at the county that states there's an interest. It's just like when I talk about a memorandum of sale or recording a memorandum of sale.
Right.
It's recording your purchase contract. It's still a recorded document. This is a notice of interest. There's no price on it.
No price specifically on, and there's also very specific things with books and pages on that agreement that is absolutely enforceable. If you don't have those things on it, some title companies will just close right over it.
Yeah.
So it's super important that this specific document is used, right? And then once you get it onto the county.
So now what it does is it records it. So what happens is the title company does the title report, right?
Yeah.
And they're pulling the title, and now
they do a gap check, and
it's going to see that, oh, hey, I have to pay off this notice of interest or lien, right? And now they're going to ask for a payoff. So they're going to ask for a payoff. And that payoff is calculated how?
Payoff is calculated by your basically what's called your gross or your profit potential. Now, what is that? If you have an agreement to buy for 100 and you sold it for 150, your profit potential is $50,000.
Right.
Out of the $50,000, right? Now you got to take all your line items out.
Real estate, commissions,
Commissions,
closing
concessions,
costs,
whatever
fees,
repairs.
any type of repairs
Right.
to be a reimbursement, or repairs to pay the guy that
Yeah.
has a line item on the HUD now.
That's right.
So
So it might be $15,000.
it could be inspection costs. It could be
Right.
it could be
But now out of that 50, you got 15 out. Now you still got 35,
yeah.
right? As opposed to maybe 10,
Right.
or 9 or whatever your normal number would be. So that's how you.
So that's a great that's actually a great question.
Yeah.
Retail buyer.
Llama or lama or llama? Llama. Would you say lama?
How do you find a flat fee MLS deals in small cities?
Oh, we
I'm
talked about
not a
this.
Realtor, but in my markets, I know that the flat fee realtors or have investor friends that will post an MLS. There's several companies
Flat
out there.
fee MLS,
If you
broker
Google flat fee
lists,
MLS,
bunch of places.
there's a ton broker list.
Yeah, they're
flat fee. There's a ton of flat fee companies out there that will
Couple
literally
$100.
list for a couple $100, and the calls will go to you. Great
Yeah,
question.
Great question, llama.
Okay, good. All right, well, guys, here's the deal. Go over to
RB Profit.
RB Profits. Get rbprofits.com. Get rbprofits.com. Go there now. $18,197 value, $997.
Yes.
And you can go there right now, and you can get rbprofits.com, rbprofits.com, $997 or 3 pay of $367 for. We got.
Probably
I
8.
don't know exactly, but
Probably 8 people left.
yeah, I don't know how many, but we had 74 when we started talking.
It's gone.
I know there's a lot less right now,
If
but
you can get in, congratulations. That's all I tell
so,
you right now.
so go to
They're
get RB Profits
blowing
right
in.
now, secure your spot. And Cory and I really appreciate your time.
Yes.
We know this will make an impact in your life.
Yes.
We know this will make an impact in your business. And we really appreciate you spending time with us. And remember, you have everything to gain, nothing to lose. If it's not everything we talked about, get your money back. And if it is everything we talked about, and you made a bunch of money doing it, guess what? Just submit your HUD and get your money back.
Tuition
You
reimbursement.
got nothing to lose. It's like
Tuition
an
reimbursement.
absolute no-brainer. So get signed up, get started today. Otherwise,
We'll see you later. Thank you so much for being on here and taking advantage of this opportunity. I believe you'll look back 6 months from now and be one of the best decisions that you made. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you.
all right, God
Remember,
bless.
remember, be a servant. See you guys.
All right,
Get
see ya.
rbprofits.com.